This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Taco Bell. It's another rainy Seattle day, overcast with showers on and off and highs in the mid-40s. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce are very real and delicious. Now back to Danny Bonaducci and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
You can't get there from here. It is 5:46. I'm Danny Bonaducci. This is KZOK. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. Paul, how are you?
Great, thank you.
Good, kids?
Doing great.
Wonderful.
Hey, Tori, you said the thing about have you seen the movie for the French fries at Taco Bell?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Maybe. Yeah, I totally saw it, Danny.
Well, there's no penalty, darling. You just say what's on the paper. It's fine. I'm just going to point out it's pretty interesting. They're spending a lot of money on it.
Really?
It's a 60-second spot, but they say see the whole film, so I guess you can see it online. It's a movie star.
About fries?
It's a guy that you know. When you see the guy in the commercial, you go, oh, that's like a movie star. My wife knew who he was immediately.
Wow.
And there's this crazy big production about this secret society that doesn't allow Taco Bell to have French fries. It just seemed like a pretty big deal. I kind of like it.
That's a good ad campaign. Then.
Yeah, it's a really good ad. And I like the guy. I wish I could remember his name. Real handsome, kind of silver foxish on the hair.
No.
Yeah. So,
Josh Duhamel.
yeah, that guy.
He's
Oh, yeah,
from
I know
Vegas.
Do you know him really?
Married
Yeah,
to
he did
Fergie
that
for
show
a while.
Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So, and he's pretty good. He's pretty good at the commercial. So anyway, last night, Amy and I went out to dinner, and I don't know why. We go out to dinner all the time. This place is a little bit pricey for what was it last night? Was it Wednesday, Tuesday last night?
Tuesday night.
Tuesday night, a little pricey. Like, so I think maybe it was hard to get a table or something like that. It's the M Bar, the place on
Oh,
the
yeah.
roof.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been there?
I have several times.
It's several times.
Yeah.
Man, you make more money than I do.
I go for cocktails, not for food.
You have more cocktails than I do.
view.
It'd be a great place for cocktails. My lovely wife had cocktails. But it's right over here in South Lake Union. Oh, I forget where we are now. It's right over there in South Lake Union.
Yeah. And the view is supposed to be incredible.
What is it?
The view is
second only to the Space Needle. And it doesn't move, but it's so reminiscent of the Space Needle, you kind of wait for it to move. You
Yeah.
wait for it to go around the place. But the thing is, and I didn't know this at the time, but you can see it from my house. You can look out my window and you can see the place on the roof, the restaurant on the roof, M Bar, of this hotel or whatever it is, a business office. So Amy puts in the address, and I said, I know where it is, honey. She goes, well, we've never been there. I rode my bicycle past it one day. That's where I know where it is. I don't remember what street it is, but we can look up what street it is, and you go down Mercer, and you turn right on that street, and there it is. No problem. So she puts it in to her GPS on her phone and says, no. You don't do that. You don't do what you think you do, Mr. Bonaducci. You go down our street about a mile or so to Roy. Turn left. Get on 99. Turn right. Go to the next street, Denny, which is about a mile. Get off. Make a U-turn. Get back on 99. Get to Harrison, which is essentially Mercer. Turn right and do what I said to do. I said, this is wrong. And she said, you've been there once on a bicycle. It's the GPS. And I said, I know more than the GPS.
Yeah.
Turned out. So I said, try doing it because maybe it's giving us time around the Mercer mess. Because it's saying it's 13 minutes. And as the crow flies, it's about a mile.
Yeah.
But with traffic, it can be longer. And it was, by the way. So I said, reroute with this thing and reroute with that thing and reroute with this thing. And what I'm saying basically is keep pushing buttons till I'm right.
Yeah.
Make me right about this. But then it turns out I'm totally right. And it did not, there was no reason to get on 99, go to Denny, get off, get back on Denny, get back on 99. Well, it does it a lot with directions.
Yeah.
Like if I wanted to go to Canlis, which as the crow flies is probably 0.7 of a mile from my house. That's what it would say.
Right.
It'd say, go down and get on 99. It'd be wrong, but it doesn't want to do all the turns. There's an easier way. Easier is kind of a...
Yeah, sometimes it goes for shortest distance, and that's not always the
No,
least
it's not.
complicated.
But also that you can block highways. Say, don't take me on any highways. Don't take me on any,
toll roads.
Yeah,
you can
don't
block.
do anything. But eventually, when we got out to the car, I said, so I'm right. There's no way that's right. I'm telling you, and I'm not doing it. And she said, we have a reservation.
And are you driving or is she driving?
I'm driving.
Okay.
And that's been a lot of that lately. Because the thing is, I park better than she does. Don't you park at the end of every single drive? Isn't there parking involved?
Yeah, there is.
Once in a while, we're gonna get somewhere, and I think we're gonna park there, honey.
Right.
And we've got this little cutesy pie stupid thing that we flaunt our ickiness. I say as we're walking down the stairs and walking around to the car, I say who's driving. She says you are, and I put out my hand for the keys, to which she responds, you don't need them.
Right.
Well, now we do that every time. I'm well aware I do it even if I have the keys. I put out my hand and I won't get the car till she says you don't need them.
Okay.
And I say, okay, that's the Bonadici cute thing this week. So I put it in the car GPS, and it turns out that I was totally right. That thing's stupid. Get on 99, go block, turn around, you stand on your head, fart a couple of times, and then you'll be there eventually.
That's exactly the way we operate now, though. All of us do it. We trust our GPSs instead of our brain.
Right.
You know how to get somewhere, but you put it in the car and it tells you to do something different. You're like, okay.
Well,
if
and normally our brain is wrong. So in this
absolutely.
case, he knew he was right.
Here's what happens with me, though, and this is a thing. It doesn't happen often enough that I'm worried about my how I behave. But I think, and I fear even saying this in this particular room, sometimes when I think I'm right about something, I get insistent. And I don't think it's a pretty picture, to be honest with you. So what?
I think everybody's like that.
The one I can think of offhand was we're all talking about Dolly Madison making the American flag. I said, guys, she didn't. That's not what she did. Nope, swear to God, she didn't. I know it's in the school book. I read it in 6th grade. Nope, you didn't read it. Whatever. You're
Betsy
totally
Ross.
wrong. And I said, Betsy Ross, thank you. And I said, Google her, and you'll see she didn't make the American flag. And it says, Betsy Ross made the American flag. And I said, they're wrong. Yeah. Google's wrong. And then we all look at me like I'm some kind of weirdo. And then Buttface McGee in there looks up and finally finds out, oh, no, she made flags for the Navy. Never even saw an American flag in her life. And I go, see? But it shouldn't be that important. I should go, huh? Or I should have just given up a while ago. I've not made poor little Derek start looking at it. It was like, okay, I don't care what Betsy Ross did. Just go on with your life. But
it's tough to do, though. I mean, when you know you're right, you know you're right.
Right, but on rare occasion, I've been pretty sure I was right.
Yeah.
And it turns out I might have been somehow a little bit tiny. If you look that direction and stand on one foot, I could have been wrong about something once.
Just once.
That is all that I'm saying. So you go to this place for cocktails, it's bitchin'.
Yeah, I'm surprised you would go during this type of weather because one of the beautiful things about M-Bar is their outdoor seating with fire pits, and you get to watch the float planes, and clearly you were indoors.
Clearly, but then there's like 3 or 4 outdoor patios. This place is just, if you get a chance to go, you should go. I didn't know, it's like a hidden secret. It ain't free, but it's a hidden little secret that is amazing.
We don't have a lot of those rooftop bars, and
No.
that's one
Because
of the
of the
new
weather.
ones.
That's how I found it, actually. I was reading, I think, a magazine that you brought home from one of your vacations said the 10 best rooftop bars in the world, and I'd been to maybe 2 of them. And, how cool am I as a world traveler? And I Googled best rooftop bars in Seattle, and that came up. That's why we went there.
Yeah.
I was glad because yesterday you couldn't see the Space Needle from my house. And I thought, well, it's ruined. It's too cold to go outside and you can't see anything. Cleared up. It was beautiful. Half of the restaurant gives out blankets. When you go outside, they give you like this big woolly blanket that you get.
Oh, wow.
I don't want anybody's old blanket while I eat, but still, I thought it was a very nice thing. One of the top, they gave me was some dish I had, and I forget what it was, a fancy. Oh no, what's that cheese you barbecue? Harami.
Halloumi.
Is the other thing's the gorilla. Harumi?
Halloumi.
Halloumi. Yeah. You don't grill him, you'll be in all sorts of trouble.
Yeah, the
But
internet would be very upset.
The halloumi cheese came with like apricot jelly or whatever. When you serve anything on my plate with carrots, I move the carrots away and I don't eat them. Yeah. Who's going to eat carrots when you got halloumi to go for?
Yeah.
So I ate a carrot. Possibly the best thing on the plate. And that kept happening.
Really?
Potatoes were as good as the lamb. It was bitching. So it's a full-blown Bonadici recommendation if you guys want to go there. It's M-Bar. Do you know what it is it's the top of? It's not a hotel, is it?
No. It's an Amazon building, but it's in the basement. Like it's Expedia, And then there's like a ton of different restaurants that close at like 6 o'clock at night.
Oh, in the lobby?
In the lobby.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of business. It had, for such a stark vibe, it had a lot of hippie influences, I thought. By the way, if you go there, I highly recommend the lamb and the beef cheeks. And if
the
you drink,
harambe.
And the
carrots.
gorilla and the carrots for sure.
This traffic report is brought to you by Sherry's Restaurants. In Tacoma on I-5 northbound at the Tacoma Dome, we had an earlier accident that has been cleared, but you're still seeing some stop-and-go traffic from 38th Street all the way through to the Dome. And on I-5 northbound, as you approach 188th Street in South Center, we have an accident that is currently blocking the shoulder, causing about a 10-minute delay. How many pancakes can you eat? Introducing Sherry's Endless Pancakes. Get all the fluffy buttermilk pancakes you like for just $6.99. Upgrade to a combo with eggs, bacon, or sausage, hash browns, and Sherry's Endless Pancakes for just $9.99. Visit Sherry's.com for a location near you. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
A razor-wielding man was wounded by a Pierce County Sheriff's deputy during the serving of multiple warrants yesterday. Deputies and SWAT teams with their auto task force headed to a home well known for its past criminal activity on 206th Avenue near Bonnie Lake. They went to serve warrants for auto theft, drugs, and fraud. As the SWAT team members approached the home, they spotted 2 men on the front porch, one holding a razor blade. Deputies said, "Drop the razor." He refused. One deputy then shot the man in the knee. He was taken to the hospital where he is expected to recover.
Couple of things. One, that's the most times I've ever heard the word warrant without hearing "she's my cherry pie," which kind of concerns me that that just happened. And secondly, I was speaking of like the opening of the show. I said, don't you hate it when you insist you're right and it turns out you're wrong? Or just in general, I hate having to insist I'm right. I think most people do. But I said on the air that the police are trained never to issue a warning shot. Like that cop, if this were a month ago before I'd said this, I'd say that cop's going to be in trouble. He's either going to have to say, no, I missed. I was trying to kill the guy with the razor. Or go, no, I wanted him to drop the razor, so I shot him in the knee. And I said, they can't do that. That's why everybody ends up with 27 shots to the chest.
Yeah.
That's what they're trained to do. You can't fire a warning shot, not in the air, not in the knee. And a police officer called up. I didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he talked to Derek. And he said, that's not true at all, Bondici. I think that guy was only pretending to be a cop, and I'm still totally right.
I think you're totally right.
I think I'm totally right, right?
Yeah, you're supposed to use deadly force only when in imminent danger.
Right, but don't use anything shy of deadly
Right,
force when you're in
exactly.
imminent danger.
Yeah.
Razor that a guy won't drop, imminent danger.
Right.
Shoot to the chest.
Firing your weapon is with intent to kill.
Kaboomy! That's why I'm not a cop, though. Everybody even looked at me funny to be shot.
Deputies recovered the razor blade, and once the scene was processed, they said they would then continue searching for drugs, guns, firearms, stolen cars, motorcycles, and more believed to be at the home. They have been called to that home 127 times over the past 21 years for a huge...
The house can't move along and become a decent house? Because I'm assuming nobody's owned it for 21 years. They lost it, they flipped it, they sold it. So do all bad people buy that house? Is it a
Apparently.
cursed house?
You'd think at 50 of those calls, serious calls,
Right.
guns, drugs, stolen cars. At 50 calls, you just bulldozer.
That's what I would do most
The
certainly.
house.
Again, why you and I are not police? You can't apparently you can't just bulldoze people's homes.
Yeah.
The largest U.S. producer of farmed Atlantic salmon was fined yesterday $332,000 for the violations of Washington state water quality laws after hundreds of thousands of invasive Atlantic salmon were released last year into our waterways. This was the pen that was supposed to keep the farmed Atlantic salmon away from our native salmon. And those pens, as you recall,
Yeah,
failed.
I do recall. And I saw them on the news this morning as well. Man, it's like, how did you get to be that big of a wreck? They're salmon. They're
Yeah.
fish. I could fight 17 fish at a time. How did they do that?
They failed to adequately clean the nets that were holding the farmed salmon, and that's what led to the failure of those pens. They said they had all sorts of different organisms on there, mussels. They had all sorts of just garbage or seaweed. It was just full of stuff that nobody was cleaning the pens.
And hundreds of thousands of pounds of that stuff.
Yeah.
110 tons
Jeez.
of mussels, clams, and other material had accumulated on those nets.
I do not understand salmon very well, but luckily it's not one of those things I have claimed to understand very well. So salmon are born in lakes and streams, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
I believe-
that's kind of my reaction.
I believe that is correct, yeah.
Okay. Then, and I did not know this, so they're born in the lakes and the streams.
Yeah.
And then they swim out to
The ocean.
sea.
The
Yeah.
ocean.
I
was
thought
trying to
they
think
were
if it was the
always
other
in
way around.
lakes and streams.
No,
I never
and
thought
then-
they went out to the ocean.
Then when it's time for them to give birth to new salmon, they swim back up those lakes
Which,
and
by the
streams.
way, does not seem easy.
No, it
If I
doesn't.
were going to hire a personal trainer, it would be a salmon.
Yeah.
Because that just seems so hard. But I didn't know that. I didn't know freshwater fish went out to the saltwater ocean and then came back. I thought they'd die in saltwater. So that's another thing I know now. And if that comes up, you watch me play it.
All right.
I went kayaking in Seward, Alaska, and we went through these. We went into this area that was like almost like a lagoon. You know,
Were you on a
wasn't-
ship?
No, I did a road trip. So I am out kayaking and I see dead fish everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened? There must have been some sort of chemical spill. There were thousands of dead fish. And then finally the guide is like, yeah, it's that time of year. They've all come up here to give birth and then they die. And then the babies will eat all the dead fish and then they go out into the ocean.
They should give you a heads up when you spend $17 on a kayak that you're going to be paddling through dead trout.
I had no idea. It was salmon, but as far as the eye could see, dead fish.
Yeah.
And it was kind of gnarly. And then I found out they're cannibals.
Yep. So those aren't
And
adorable
then
fish at all. And they
I
got
ate
that little beak on the end of their face that freaks me out.
Yeah.
Super weird looking. Security screeners, according to the TSA, had found a record number of firearms in carry-on bags at U.S. airports last year, including 75 guns found at SeaTac. So each year, the TSA releases their annual list of all the craziness that they have found at airports. The total was just shy of 4,000 firearms found at airports last year, which was a 16.7% increase over the year before. They said most of them were found in carry-ons. 84% were loaded. More than 34% had a round in the chamber.
And everybody says the same thing. Oh, I just forgot that my loaded pistol was inside my
In my-
carry-on
On the-
while I went to the airport.
Yeah.
On the few, and maybe it's because I'm not a gun carrier, never have been, but on occasion, I've had an occasion to carry a pistol. And I am so afraid of it all the time.
Yeah.
So cognizant of it all the time.
Yep.
Is it pointing at my package when I stick it in my pants? Is it loaded? Is there one in the chamber? Did I leave it anywhere? Can anybody see it? I mean, I don't see how you forget you have a gun.
Right. Even somebody who's used to carrying at all times should be aware at all times
It's
that they're
such a
carrying.
dangerous tool. And, it'd be like walking around carrying a bomb. Oh, I forgot there was a bomb in there.
Yeah.
I'm guilty because I wear sleeveless shirts to the airport. They screen me every time.
Guilty of what?
Having too many guns, man.
Didn't even get it. Sometimes it's so clever. My mortal mind can't even
Right.
put it together. That you were on your way to the gun show.
And they're always loaded.
Hartsfield Jackson Atlanta International Airport had the greatest number of gun discoveries. And Dallas Fort Worth at number 2, Houston at number 3, SeaTac number 10. And they said,
I'm surprised to see us in the top 10.
Really? Because
too.
it's I do this a lot. It's commensurate with our size. We're
yeah.
around a top 10 city. I think
Yeah,
we're 12,
big airport,
11,
yeah.
12. So you'd get, when we get top 3 in something, oh, we kicked ass. And when we get to 30, oh, we're not as good as we look.
right,
Yeah.
but notice New York and LA were not on that list. It's really where people are more
Well,
interested in carrying
and New York
guns.
State and California, it's so hard to get concealed carry permits that,
Right.
yeah, you don't expect that.
You think the guy that carries it on, tries to carry a gun on, has a concealed permit?
I do. I think, yeah, and I think I think that a lot of them genuinely are forgetting, but that's crazy.
That's
to me.
crazy.
President Trump delivered his first State of the Union address last night, and this morning you can find plenty of articles dedicated to fact-checking.
Yeah.
What he got right, what he got wrong, what is spin. According to the
He
experts,
said hello and then got things wrong.
According to experts, the biggest wrong was tax cuts. Donald Trump said we enacted the biggest tax cuts and reform in American history. That is incorrect. Ronald Reagan did so in the 1980s. What he got right was working with the Senate, we are appointing judges who will interpret the Constitution as written, including some of the great Supreme Court justices, more circuit judges than any new administration in the history of our country. That is true. They said spin, well, the claims of unemployment, especially for African American unemployment, as we discussed yesterday, they've been on the decline for 20 years.
Right, but he's still technically right. It's the lowest unemployment for African Americans ever.
Sure, a lot
So,
of the claims that
yeah.
he makes about the economy, it's hard to say you're wrong because you're not
Right.
wrong.
You're not.
It's just, can you take credit for something that started years ago?
They're saying a lot of that is spin, that yes, it's the lowest, but is he responsible? No, because it's been on the decline for 10 years. So
yeah,
some
I
is
got to
yes
go
and
with the
some
stock,
is no.
the stock market that I keep my eye on. When I met Amy and it's tanked and I still own a house I can't sell, it went down to 8,000. Since then, and there's been plenty of presidents since then, it has gone up to, I believe it's at the Dow Jones at 26,000 this morning. Now, Obama went up and down for Obama, but the gains during Trump are huge and I don't think can be denied. I don't
Right.
think you have to like the guy to go, oh, well, that's pretty impressive.
Well, as I said, there's some right, there was some wrong, and there was a lot of just spin. There's nothing that happened last night that hasn't happened with every State of the Union. You take credit for stuff you didn't do. You take shots saying you're great.
Sure, yeah.
I mean, that's what you're supposed to do.
If you have nothing to say, how is it? Was like the third longest speech in
Yeah, it was
history?
like
It
80
was.
some odd minutes.
And one thing I noticed that I haven't seen from any other president in State of the Union is him pausing to clap for himself.
Yep, never seen that.
That was crazy. And it was after about every other sentence. He would stop, and if they didn't immediately give him applause, he would start clapping for himself.
I don't like that at all. I think you should come out there and say, thank you, thank you, thank you. Please hold your applause to the end.
Yeah.
Because there's 30 minutes of applauding, people standing up, like people applauding that don't mean it, people not applauding, people looking grimly at him. But it's a lot. I wouldn't know when to stand up and when to sit down. I think they should say, please hold applause till the end.
Well, if you watch the entire State of the Union, you could use that $1,000 to kind of recover, get something a little more fun. It was just boring.
It was. And by the way, the stock market slumped to its worst loss since August yesterday.
I watched it happen.
Well, and most of that was thanks to Amazon, believe it or not, because of their big announcement on making their own healthcare company. It wound up being the healthcare companies that were the biggest losers. Insurers, drug makers, distributors all slumped on that news. So our biggest drop in the stock market since August. Harley-Davidson sales fell sharply in 2017, and the company will move ahead with a plan to consolidate manufacturing operations, including the closure of its Kansas City, Missouri plant.
Oh, bummer.
The world's largest maker of heavyweight motorcycles has struggled to reverse 4 years of a sales slide. They said there are a couple of things that are contributing. Japanese bikes are getting cheaper. Some of these tax cuts that benefited most businesses did not benefit Harley-Davidson.
I've had a couple Harley-Davidson. I got to tell you that I'm a big buy American guy when you can, but if it is surpassed in quality and for what you want, you should buy what you want. And if you want to ride around on a Harley-Davidson specifically, you should buy a Harley-Davidson. If you want to ride around on almost anything else, real fast, real slow, in the dirt, whatever it is, it's probably not a Harley-Davidson.
Right.
Well, another reason for the fall has been people getting a little bit uncomfortable driving motorcycles because of the dangers associated. It's not necessarily yourself, it's other drivers, so people in cars, so a lot of people concerned for their safety.
As well they should be. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's more dangerous than jumping out of planes.
A Houston woman is facing a felony charge after she trolled her husband's girlfriend, posting her name in an ad on Craigslist seeking sex from married men. Tamantha Johnson, age 48, allegedly posed as her husband's girlfriend, created a post and said, requesting that married men come over and service me. It then included her name, her age, and a photo and a way to find her.
Oh.
Which can't you?
This happens every now and again. The last one, and maybe you reported this, I don't know, I could have seen on the news. A woman did exactly that, except she said, I have a rape fantasy, which apparently is a high-end fantasy. Who knew? So don't knock. Just barge in and take me.
Yeah.
How dangerous is that? How mad are you at the new girl?
It's crazy.
She's being charged with online harassment and impersonation. And guess what her husband did?
I don't know what.
Divorced her.
That's what I would do.
Did you guys ever go in like a bathroom stall and write one of your friends' phone numbers on it for a good time call?
Not in the past 50 years.
I've done that actually here at work. We've only been here a month, and I put for a good time called Derek. And
I was
put
wondering
the
why I
cell
was getting
number.
strange calls at 3 in the morning when I'm trying to get up for work.
Derek, do you still do that to your friends?
Not in the
Jeez,
past,
dude.
maybe not in the past
Week?
3 years.
Who calls those phone numbers?
No, I don't know.
But Craigslist, people do that all the time. I heard, I won't name names, but somebody in this building, which we've only been here for 3 weeks, posted something to Craigslist saying, looking to adopt a goat, I think it was. Looking to adopt a goat, please call me if you've got a goat. And then it's another person in this building.
But it was a prank?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
By a coworker. And then that person was
Well, they're just
inundated.
wacky and zany around here.
Yeah, they are. And that's this building?
Yeah.
Wow.
So imagine your phone starts ringing off the hook and you answer it like,
Hey, I'm interested in the goat.
I got your goat. You want the
Oh,
goat? And this goes on, and you get hundreds of calls a day. At least that one was a little harmless, as
Why would
opposed
you
to
get hundreds of calls? How many people have goats to give away?
they're very popular.
All right.
Apparently not popular enough to keep.
Right, no.
Authorities are searching for surfwear company Quicksilver's CEO after his empty boat was found on a beach off of France's coast. Pierre Agnier, age 54, went out to sea in the morning, and that night his boat showed up and he was not on board.
What was his drama? He had drama, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know if he's got drama.
Company going downhill, getting a divorce, anything? Because I don't like it.
No.
I thought that company went out of business in like 1993.
If not. Are you thinking he tried to disappear?
I don't know. I mean, if there's a couple of ways to go on this. One, it's an actual accident. You fall off a boat for no good reason, and your boat shows up on shore. Two, you commit suicide. Three, you stage your own death so you can get some kind of insurance to take care of your family.
I know that it's a dangerous coast. I have not heard of any drama.
Coast of France?
Yeah. They said there can be some rogue waves. There can be a lot of rocks, and if you're out and a wave tips your boat and you fall in, then your boat sails away or floats away without you. Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe. Yeah, that's scenario number one.
Yeah.
Scenario number two is he faked his own death.
He's staging his own death for some kind of reason.
And Mexican officials announced yesterday they are dispatching 5,000 additional federal police officers to several tourist cities after a series of violent incidents, including a lengthy shootout that rattled Baja, the resort city of La Paz.
Bah?
Yep.
Wow.
They said key cities like La Paz are seeing a huge uptick in violence. They've also seen it in Cancun, Los Cabos, Manzanillo, and Colima. And it said that there was a massive shootout. Police and crime exchanging long bursts of gunfire. Thankfully, no deaths. Doesn't seem like anyone's a very good shot, but they are
There's
now...
a long shootout and nobody's dead?
Yeah.
Somebody should be ashamed of themselves.
They are presently saying that Los Cabos now has Mexico's second highest homicide rate.
I'd go there on Christmas vacation.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
Beautiful. I don't know what's going on there. Well, I do. Drugs.
Man, have we not learned a lesson? I've been saying this for 100 years, but have we not learned a lesson from the legalization and taxation of marijuana? Make all of this stuff legal. Put all the guys with guns out of work.
Right.
They are actually trying to push that through. The legalization of marijuana alone, they say, would decrease the violence. And they're hoping that somebody will listen and do that.
You have safe needle exchange and things like that. Just legalize it all. Cocaine, heroin, whatever you need. And I think the herd will thin real quickly, and you'll have some people that are able to take their drugs and go to work and be, viable citizens and things like that. But I don't think it's the end of the world if you just say, all right, vice is now legal, let's tax it. The world didn't go crazy when the Bunny Ranch got its license for prostitution. They're not Kendrick Lamar. Who the hell went up there and spent a kidney?
Lamar Odom.
But, you can't, one bad apple. Kendrick Lamar Odom.
Yeah. He was great at the Grammys.
I loved that guy. Speech went a little long.
I think is it today or was it yesterday that it's Carol?
It's today, Sarah.
Is it tomorrow yet? It's Carol Channing's birthday, and all I think of is Carol Channing
Tatum
O'Neal. Yeah.
It is not Tatum O'Neal's birthday. No. What's his name? Channing Tatum. It's not his birthday, but it was Carol Channing's birthday, and I think she's 97 or something totally insane. Did anyone know she was alive?
Yeah.
Yeah, she looked great in Magic Mike. I thought the abs.
Been working out. Yeah. That cool dance. Here's one of those things where I insisted I was right the other day. My wife said she's a current actress, a big actress, but she's the youngest person to ever win the Academy Award for the piano.
No, that's Anna Paquin.
Anna Paquin, right?
Yeah.
Is it for the piano?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So Amy said, I said, no, it's Tatum O'Neal if it's not Shirley Temple. And then while we're Googling, I'm yelling and screaming. Turns out it's tied. She's tied with Tatum O'Neal at 11.
Oh, I see. I thought she was younger. I wonder if it's a matter of months because clearly they don't share a birthday.
Don't push that because I was kind of right. And if you find out I'm wrong, I hate it.
Yeah. No, I thought that Anna Paquin beat that record.
I thought it was Shirley Temple, but apparently hers was honorary. And they gave her a little tiny Academy Award, which I thought was shameful.
Aww.
Yeah.
Carol Channing from Seattle, Washington, born here.
Didn't know.
Born on this day 97 years old today.
So she is not only older than Betty White, she's older than sliced bread, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Indeed. It's time for today's Things Are Not Right in Florida. Story of the day.
Yay.
Police in Lakeland, Florida are hoping toxicology might shed some light about a bizarre incident that happened in Florida. Now, this happened 3 o'clock in the morning. A man got into a car accident and then started ringing the doorbell of the home of Michael and Charlotte Ives. He would not stop. They called 911, said this guy won't stop ringing our doorbell. And the operator says, do you know him? And they said, no, we have a gun, though, and if he doesn't stop, we're going to shoot him.
Don't shoot him.
He started shouting profanities and incoherent things. He would not stop ringing the doorbell. 911 says, well, do you know if he has a weapon? I can't tell. Gunshot rings out. He just beat our door down, and we shot him.
Good on all of this.
Cops arrived at the scene and found the Chevy Impala he'd been driving completely destroyed. They have no idea why he wouldn't stop ringing his doorbell.
Spice.
Might have been.
Gotta be it.
I can't believe we've never tried spice. Is that
can.
still legal?
No, I don't think it's legal.
You sure?
Not in Washington State, I don't think.
Derek, you take drugs. Is spice legal?
I'm pretty sure they banned it after people were doing crazy stuff
Jumping
on
out
it.
the window. I can't believe we didn't just give it a try.
They
Get
were
like,
eating people's faces.
Yeah, get like 3 big guys around you that you like and trust and say, hey, if I start to eat anybody's face, stop me. I can't believe we never tried it.
They banned it in Washington State in 2011.
Oh my gosh, so a long time ago. I didn't even know spice has been around that long.
But you can still buy it online, apparently.
I don't trust that. I'm currently thinking about buying massive quantities of drugs from China, and I don't know why. What am I going to do with them?
Get your wife to hate you?
No, I just figured out how to do it, and I think, well, now I know how. I should definitely buy like 40 pounds of the ingredients to make Molly.
Yeah,
That's not
definitely.
Yeah,
That's
Sounds like a great idea.
it does.
You have such a good track record with drugs, Danny.
Dude, they never get in my way.
Oh, Florida.
Oh, Florida.
Florida.
Oh, Danny.
We need to take a break. We need to talk Danny off the drugs ledge. We do have music news, entertainment, and sports right around the corner. A new tour has been announced. Several big rockers, including one with a Seattle connection. A huge movie star got the world's worst and weirdest tattoo. We'll tell you what and who next.
Okay.
Plus, a heartwarming football story with ties to Seattle next in sports.
This traffic report is brought to you by Taco Bell. Seeing about a 20-minute delay near South Center on I-5 northbound as you approach 188th Street, and also on I-90 westbound in Seattle as you approach Rainier Avenue. Currently, the carpool lane is blocked, causing some heavy traffic all the way from the Mount Baker Tunnel. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries, covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce, are very real and very delicious. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Target Zero. It's another rainy Seattle day. It's currently 45 downtown, overcast with on and off rain showers throughout the day and highs in the mid-40s. Drunk you doesn't make good decisions, so make a plan before you party and make sure to get home safe and sound. Let's reach our Target Zero goal together. 0 traffic deaths in our family, 0 traffic deaths in our state. Now back to Danny and Bonaducci and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
Starting with music news, another major package tour will be hitting the road this summer.
Well, I don't know that I'm going to take it on tour. It seems I'll just let some people see it, maybe give it a little pat. But an entire package tour, I don't know.
The tour is Jeff Beck, Paul Rogers, and Ann Wilson of Heart.
That's a pretty epic tour.
Yeah.
Right?
Ann Wilson will be the opening act, and then they all get along. So I'm imagining
Right.
they're all going to be doing work on stage together. Paul Rogers said this is a knockout combination of music and musicians. I've always been a huge Jeff Beck fan. Ann Wilson has an amazing voice and is a brilliant songwriter. 2018 is the 50th anniversary of Free. I hope we can touch your spirit with the spirit of Free. Now, the tour starts on July 18th. We do not have a Washington date yet, but I would imagine that will change.
Here's the thing. Now that I'm a guitar virtuoso, Jeff Beck has come on my radar.
Yeah, of course.
And I've watched him a couple of times, and he's amazing. Like the most amazing I've ever seen anywhere at any time.
He's almost as good as you, right?
But 5 minutes of that and I'm done. Like nobody sings, nobody dances. He stands there and he plays guitar like a maniac. Like you didn't think anybody, like he plays an electric guitar with all 5 fingers. He's on a different string doing stuff you didn't know was possible. But after you hear for a while, you go, okay, I get it.
I find
Somebody should sing.
solos on pretty much any instrument is boring after 20,
Right.
30 seconds.
But he doesn't sing, so it's all solos. Every now and again, the bass player sings a song, which
Paul
sometimes is his
Rogers
kid, by the way.
is one of the greatest voices in rock and roll, and they have collaborated together before, so I have a feeling they will be performing together.
I wouldn't imagine any different, but at the end of the day, he is Jeff Beck,
Yeah.
and people are going to go to see him expecting that and wanting that. I'm just not one of those guys. I want to see Paul Rogers and Ann Wilson.
Yeah.
Absolutely. At the Grammys, it was all about Kendrick Lamar and Bruno Mars. But at the Latin Grammys back in November, it was all about Despacito.
Yeah.
Now, Despacito did not win at the regular Grammys, but it was huge for the Latin Grammys. And Justin Bieber won because he is on that song. He is part of that song. However, this week, a guy named Carlos Enscalano Cruz,
Yeah, that guy.
he got Justin Bieber's Grammy in the mail. He had won for work on Mark Anthony's children's album, Mark Anthony for Babies. But when he opened up the package, there's Justin Bieber's Grammy for Despacito.
So neither one of these guys showed up for the Latin Grammys, Bieber or this guy?
Nope.
They
And
both
so-
said just send it in the mail?
Yep.
I would be shocked if I got Bieber's package in the mail. Somebody finally got around to it.
But imagine you get an Academy Award and you open it up and it's Barry Williams' Academy Award instead.
So you only give Academy Awards to ex-child stars in Sarah World. But,
You don't get Tom Hanks' Academy
I
Award.
get your point, I guess.
Michelle Obama will give her first post-White House interview on Ellen DeGeneres tomorrow. She'll help celebrate the host's 60th birthday. Ellen DeGeneres turning 60.
It's crazy that Ellen is 60.
Yeah, she doesn't look it.
No, she looks fantastic. She is somebody who has participated in Ellen DeGeneres' 1 Million's Act of Good campaign. They are going to sit down for an interview and we'll hear what Michelle Obama has to say. We do know, as a bit of a sneak peek, she will disclose what Melania Trump gave her as a gift when the White House changing of the guard, so to speak, happened. There was a gift exchange and everyone wanted to know, what did Melania give you? She will reveal that to Ellen.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a feeling she'll probably reveal a couple other things, but we'll see.
I think everybody's thinking herpes and just doesn't want to say it.
What?
Maybe not.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I know that guy.
He is A British guy who's had a pretty prolific career in a short span of time.
Is that the guy that helped ruin Road Warrior?
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
A movie you and I hated, and for some reason it seems like everybody else liked.
99% fresh, so I don't trust tomatoes anymore.
Tom Hardy starred in Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
I thought that was a fantastic movie. He's been in a bunch of movies, but Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio, he and Leo had a bet. Tom Hardy bet that Leonardo DiCaprio wouldn't win Best Actor and said, if you do, I will get you tattooed on my person. Leonardo DiCaprio won. Right? And I think the bet was because Leonardo DiCaprio had never won before.
Yeah, he'd been nominated but never won.
But I mean, everybody knew he was going to get it this time. The people are making jokes. Just give it to Leo.
I think Tom Hardy just secretly wants Leo tattooed on him.
Well, he paid up. And it's a huge, awful tattoo. He was just photographed with it. It is on his bicep, so the front of his bicep, as opposed to, how would you describe where a lot of people get like
the
mom.
tricep down from the delt.
Yeah, it's big, lower down towards the elbow joint, pretty big.
Weird.
And it says in weird letters, it's not like a really nice cursive or anything. It's all mismatched, kind of like a ransom note, and it says Leo knows everything.
Super weird.
Super weird. Super weird. But if you can end up. I mean, I don't regret my latest tattoo, which is David Cassidy's last words.
Yeah.
So much wasted time. But they're in big letters. So much. It's a stripe across my
right
chest.
across your
But
heart.
I keep my shirt on most of the time. Where he got that tattoo, you can't cover that up with a short sleeve shirt. You have to wear long sleeves unless you want to have Leo DiCaprio's face and the words "Leo knows everything."
Yeah. Thankfully, it's not his face. It is just the words.
Oh,
he didn't get a picture of Leo on it?
No.
Oh.
Huge
Well, that's a little different.
That's totally different.
letterings that says Leo knows everything.
Yeah.
But you can't hide it at all. Maybe he has his face on his butt, like where you put most of your tattoos.
I would like to. I was looking at actually this morning. I was looking at some of my tattoos while I was getting ready, and I have the smoking gun tattoo from that television show I used to do, which is spelled wrong. You got to pay attention. These things actually really happen to actual people. I'd get that one removed so I could use a clear plate to Mr. Cassidy.
Yeah.
The smoking gun is on your arm, though, isn't it?
No, it's right there.
Oh, okay. So it's
Good
sort of on
radio.
your
on my
arm,
shoulder where I'm pulling it down.
but goes
I'm
over.
creeping over towards my chest. Yeah.
Gotcha. I mean, I think that they've come a long way when it comes to tattoo removal. You could do it.
I don't know that they've come a long way, to be honest with you. I think it hurts and it's laborious.
it's really
and
painful and takes a
time-consuming.
long time.
I think it would take a year to get that off.
Oh.
At once a month or once a week, I think you can go. Because I've had one semi-removed before, and I just gave up and said, just let it be faded and stupid.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie will join ABC News as an on-air contributor heading into midterm elections. The former Trump campaign aide will take part in ABC's coverage of the State of the Union speech that happened last night, and then he will be appearing on Good Morning America and doing other conservative commentating for these midterm elections. It's the end for Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh!
Showtime said they
Dice is dead?
If you'd have said that 20 years ago, I'd have said you were right.
He had a show on Showtime,
Right.
semi-autobiographical comedy, and they've decided to wrap it up after 2 seasons. Now, the first season had some pretty good ratings. The second season, meh. And then they said, okay, it's time to wrap this up.
And it was, when you say semi-autobiographical, totally. He lives in Vegas. He lives in a not that great of apartment or condo. He tries to get work. He's trying to make his comeback. That's exactly what that guy does with his day every day. I thought it was kind of an interesting idea, although I think he's a little bit unbalanced, to be honest with you. I watched him pitch that show. I happened to be in a producer's office who did not ask me to leave. And he broke down and cried, I mean sobbing, as part of the pitch. And I thought, all right. And
but it worked.
Not for that guy. It was 10 years later or more, he got a show.
But maybe that's his shtick. So maybe next time you pitch a show, that's what you need to do. Break down in tears.
Every time I've pitched a show, I've broken down and cried. And then asked if I could use the bathroom. Those are my 2 things.
Well, tomorrow night's episode of The 4 Battle for Stardom on Fox is going to be fantastic.
Challenge!
Ousted fan favorites will return.
Oh, it's the comeback
It's
episode.
what's her face is coming back, and she's mad.
Yeah.
They will have a shot at reclaiming their seats, and we will see who will move on to the next step in becoming the iHeartRadio On the Verge artist. But of course, somebody will get sent packing. So don't miss a minute tomorrow night at 8 on Q13 Fox.
That's an iHeart thing?
That's an iHeart.
Man, we have our fingers everywhere.
Yeah, we do.
I'm an iHeart thing. You're an iHeart thing.
You
And
need
the
to keep
challenge is an iHeart
your
thing.
fingers to yourself,
I
please.
will. That's where I keep them.
That's actually an iHeart thing, too. They keep telling us.
I get the mail.
Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-AWAY. That's 1-800-DUI-AWAY. Shaquem Griffin, the twin brother of Seahawks cornerback Shaquille Griffin, is heading to the NFL scouting combine after all. At first, he had not received an invitation, and now his agent confirmed yesterday that he has. Why is this such big news?
Yeah.
Shaquem Griffin only has one hand. He will become the first player with one hand to be drafted during the league's modern era. Now, he got the combine invitation and put out a really cute
Is he
video.
a guy I saw on the news recently?
I'd
Was he a
imagine
college
so.
player till recently?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because I was watching TV and I paused it because I couldn't tell what I was seeing. And I thought, hey, that football player only has one hand.
Yep. It's pretty amazing. His left hand was amputated at age 4 because of a congenital condition called amniotic band syndrome. But despite
So it's
that,
not fireworks like the guy who played for the Giants?
nope. Pierre, Paul, and Mary. What's his name?
Yeah, something like that.
Jason Pierre-Paul. No, this was a genetic issue, congenital issue. He has gone to college, was a 2-year starter at UCF, first team All-American in the athletic conference selection both seasons.
So what's his job?
What is
It's not
his?
catch the ball, right? Or is it?
I'm sorry?
What's his position?
What's his position? That's what I meant. Thank you.
Oh.
Does he doesn't catch balls, does he?
No, I think he does.
Really?
Derek, what's
He's a
his
receiver?
position? Do you know? I
He
don't know.
plays defensive back, so he could intercept if, the other team, if
So
he
his
gets.
job is not to get out there and catch.
It's
His
to
job is
tackle people,
to
but he
okay.
could still catch interceptions.
Thank you.
So he will go to the combine and then get drafted.
All right. Will
Pretty
he get
amazing.
drafted?
If he does well at the combine, yeah.
Right,
I
but
guess it's
mean,
not a guarantee. Not a guarantee that he'll
I
get
know
drafted.
stuff that we don't know, Paul.
Yeah.
So do you think he's going to get drafted?
I do.
Wow.
I
Cool.
definitely
I'll keep
do.
my eye on this
I think
guy.
somebody will take him. I mean, it's a pretty profound statement. In sports, we've
I don't
only.
want statements. I want to win. That's
I
my
was going to
thing.
say we've only seen a handful, but maybe that's inappropriate.
You.
We've only seen a handful of athletes excel when missing a hand. We had a pitcher. There is a young kid who is making his push through the scholastic system, but overall, you tend not to see a lot of people missing hands go on to play professional sports.
That's your position on this? You don't see a lot of people with one hand playing professional sports. You're going to go out on that limb, are you?
What can anyone else
Limb
think
on the
of?
limb.
Ah!
No, it'll be exciting
It'll
though
be
if he
very
makes
exciting.
it. I mean, we'll all give him
He's
a
so excited he's going to
round of
applaud. Oh,
applause.
wait, no, he's not.
This is the worst show ever.
If he could hear me, he'd flip me off. Oh, no, he wouldn't.
Oh,
The Washington Redskins.
he can hear you. He's not deaf. He's missing a hand.
Come on, don't flip me on.
What is wrong with you?
I only got one ear. Leave me alone. Stop yelling.
The Washington Redskins and Kansas City Chiefs have engaged in the first blockbuster of the 2018 offseason. The Redskins will acquire quarterback Alex Smith, allowing them to part ways with their previous starting quarterback, Kirk Cousins.
I thought the story was everybody's changing their names. Who is this?
It's a trade of quarterbacks.
Right,
It's
but
a-
what teams?
This is the Washington football team. You're thinking of the Cleveland Indians, the baseball team.
No,
You're
I'm
thinking
not.
They
of
just changed their logo.
Nope, not thinking of that. What's the name of this team?
the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, thinking of that team right there. They're every year they're the petition to change their name.
Oh, but they haven't.
no, that's what I thought the story was. It's a
No.
blockbuster involving racist team names. I thought was going to be the changing of the names.
Nope.
No. And
Fair
Roger
enough.
Goodell, experts are saying it is highly unlikely that will happen in this season or next. No, the Washington team and the Kansas City football team have made some huge statements when it comes to quarterbacks. Kirk Cousins has been the starter for the Washington team, and Alex Smith has had a great run with the Kansas City Chiefs. He is now going to the Washington Redskins. Now, this is a pretty big deal. Let me see. $23.5 million per year, $71 million guaranteed. That's
So
a lot
much
of dough.
Yeah.
Chris Pratt, Lake Stevens' own Chris Pratt.
Yeah. Didn't you used to wrestle that guy?
I did.
I
Yeah.
think he had an affair with his wife.
I
Didn't you?
beat him. Yeah.
He has long declined offers to do commercials, but has made an exception for the upcoming Super Bowl, mostly, according to him, because he likes beer. Now, he said he will be making his debut at the Super Bowl, doing a pair of commercials for Michelob Ultra. According to Chris Pratt, I've watched every single Super Bowl since 1985. I'm a Super Bowl guy, and I definitely feel connected, not only to football, to the NFL, to the Super Bowl, but to the commercials.
Right, sure.
So I'm super excited. He also said that when he went to work on Guardians of the Galaxy, he had to drop a lot of weight. He dropped 60 pounds.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And part of that was curbing the kind of beer you drink. So this
Switching to Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra, super low in calories and carbohydrates.
Taste.
Yeah.
There's actually a commercial out right now of him trying out for, supposedly trying out for the part in that commercial. And he shows up. He does training and he gets all buff and ready for this role because it's, the biggest role of a lifetime. And he shows up and he's auditioning to be an extra in the commercial.
That's on?
Yeah.
God, I watch so much TV. I can't believe I haven't seen that.
I hate to admit it, but it's pretty funny. It's pretty entertaining. He's pretty good.
He is
pretty
funny.
good.
He also said of being in a Super Bowl commercial, he said, well, this could really open things up for me professionally. The Super Bowl has launched people's careers, like Whitney Houston. She sang the national anthem, and it was the highlight of the day, and it launched her career. I'm hoping this is my Whitney Houston national anthem
His
moment.
breakout moment.
Did you follow that story to the end, Chris?
No, well, he's making a joke because she was already
Yeah, just not that great of a joke. She ends up dead.
Yeah.
she was already a Grammy-winning star, and it didn't launch her career. And he is one of the highest-paid actors, so he doesn't really need any help.
No, but this is a good move. I was talking about this with Amy yesterday, that back in the old days, like movie stars would never do TV and certainly never do commercials. But you get over to Japan and they're all doing commercials for whiskey and watches and stuff like that. And I think, why not? If they're going to give you a $20 million payday because you're a big, stupid movie star and it takes a day, it should be illegal to say no.
Yeah.
The Sounders have signed Norwegian midfielder Magnus Wolff Eikrem, and they made this announcement yesterday saying it is subject to his obtaining a U.S. work visa. But he's had a pretty good career. And tonight, WSU will face off against Arizona in college basketball. Tip-off is at 7. And that's your look at sports, brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys at 1-800-DUIOA.
In Tacoma on I-5 northbound at Portland Avenue, there was an earlier accident that has been cleared, but you're still seeing some minor delays through that area. And on I-90 westbound in Seattle, as you approach the Mount Baker Tunnel, we have an accident that is currently blocking the left lane. This traffic report was brought to you by Taco Bell. Have you seen the trailer for Web of Fries? You need to. While the movie is shrouded in mystery, Taco Bell's new $1 nacho fries covered in Mexican spices and dipped in warm nacho cheese sauce are very real and delicious. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Student loans, car loans, high interest credit cards, debt adds up for all of us, but there are ways around it. And that's why I'm here to talk to you about my friends at American Financing. Refinancing your home loan is an easy way to save a lot of money. Think of it this way. A lower interest rate means lower monthly bill payments, and mortgage interest rates are far more competitive than a student loan or a credit card rate. I'm talking rates in the low single digits versus rates in the high double digits. So why wouldn't you consider consolidating that high interest debt, refinance your mortgage? You should call American Financing. You can speak with a salary-based mortgage consultant who will customize a loan for your needs. They are already saving customers up to $1,000 a month. Plus, there are no upfront fees. So what are you waiting for? Call American Financing, 206-204-3200, 206-204-3200, or AmericanFinancing.net, NMLS 182334.
It is 7:01, and if you want to do yourself a favor and go see Gabriel Iglesias, I was going to say better known as Fluffy, but I know him as Gabriel Iglesias.
Yeah.
I think he coined himself Fluffy in one of his videos. Anyway, guy is super funny, and he's going to be at the Washington State Fair, and we've got tickets that you can win right here. All you got to have is a quick joke. Get by us. We'll tell you who wins, and you can get tickets 7:20 this morning. Listener joke off.
Yesterday, we were talking about Elon Musk and his
Yeah.
flamethrower.
Yeah.
He has sold, yesterday he was speaking about this again and says that he has already sold more than 10,000 flamethrowers. $500.
Don't you want one, Danny?
I do want one, but I'm starting to think this is some kind of personal gag for this guy.
Yeah.
He said, the rumor that I'm secretly creating a zombie apocalypse to generate demand for flamethrowers is completely false. Ho, ho, ho.
Okay, I think you're right. It's personal gag.
Yeah, it's personal gag. Does he have a thick accent?
Yeah.
I don't trust people with accents making flamethrowers. You have an American accent if you want to make a flamethrower.
But he's selling them to us. But I think you're right. Southern drawl is really what I think you should have.
Y'all want a flamethrower? Yeah, I do. I got varmints. I got an animal doing things.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's already generated $5 million worth of money from selling his flamethrowers. But when we first reported on this yesterday, and by the way, this is all done through his Boring Company's website.
Doesn't seem that boring.
Is that also a joke, or is it has to do with digging tunnels or something?
I don't know. I really don't.
Because to get where I want to go, a lot of times I have to turn right on Boring. Right up here.
Oh, right.
Boring.
And I say something stupid every time.
Yeah,
boring. Fine. It says there's a boring street. Is that the gag with this guy?
It is Boring, the Boring Company. So when you get the flamethrower, it says the Boring Company right on the side. He sells hats. He sells a lot of stuff. But when we first reported this yesterday, you're like, I want one. And all I'm thinking was, Amy's going to send me a nasty email and say, why did you report on that? Because now I need to say no to my husband who wants a flamethrower.
Yeah, all that's about to happen.
Well, I'm pretty sure Paul said he wanted one.
I want one too. Yeah.
All boys want one.
But Paul at least would use it probably around the house. I think you would use it for mayhem.
Man.
I'm gonna do a little mayhem too. I think.
Don't sell Paul short. He's gonna mayhem.
Yeah, but you live in.
I'm gonna make roasted lamb while the lamb's still running.
Oh, you live in Queen Anne. Paul lives in
Fresh meat.
unincorporated village.
Yeah.
With a lot of.
I got an
property.
elementary school at the corner. What are you trying to say?
You're gonna go roast them.
I didn't say that because they know where I live.
But you, I think, are the king of wanting to purchase unusual items that periodically you'll say, I need to buy that. Or sometimes you run and do go buy something.
I was outside last year or whenever I was making tomatoes and I was aerating my garden because I had seen it on TV.
Yeah.
And my next door neighbor leans out his window. I barely ever talk to this guy. And he says, that is the most interesting way I've ever seen to aerate a garden. And I realized I have a 7-foot sword in my hand that I'm digging into the ground with ease. So I have weird stuff. I want new technology and old technology. Pick, old or new.
Well, what is there an unusual product that you would like to purchase now?
Well, there's a couple, and I'll go back. This isn't new technology. I've just never had one. I want a Fry Daddy.
Oh, okay.
Come on, a Fry Daddy. You can deep fry stuff right there on the kitchen counter. That's awesome.
They have those air fryers now too, where you're supposed to fry with air, which it can't possibly be as good.
It can't possibly be as good. A donut fried with air. Are you insane?
Can it fry a donut? The air fryer, or is it
Yeah.
just French fries? Or is it anything?
I think it'll fry anything. Yeah.
Well, and fry is kind of a loose term, apparently.
Well, now
I think
I
it'll
want
whip
one.
hot air around anything.
It will blow your vegetables.
Yeah. Pretty
Well,
much.
Danny wants
they're
the
brown.
Elon Musk flamethrower.
Everybody wants the Elon
Everybody,
Musk
all
flamethrower.
boys want that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind one because I could bring it to work.
All boys and some girls. Everybody wants one.
Yeah.
I want one too.
Well, you guys listening, what unusual product would you actually like to purchase? The flamethrower is only $500. It ain't cheap, but for a flamethrower, you'd think maybe it was more. A lot of people want to buy it. What unusual product would you like to purchase? Let us know by calling 800-252-1025.
So the head guy making electric cars and hyperlinks, he's now put out a flamethrower, which I say all boys want. And then Sarah said, I want one too. So now all people want a flamethrower.
Yeah.
So what is the thing what is an unusual product that you would like? The phone number is 1-800-252-1025. I'll throw another one out there. I want the Fry Daddy, which is like older technology, but I've never had one. They seem bitching. My kid had one. Then I'll jump up to I think it's pronounced Ibo, the dog. The robot dog.
Oh, robot dog.
Come on with the robot dog. Although it's tiny, so you'd have to make ramps up to your bed and up to your couch.
To cuddle the robot.
Cuddle. Yeah. But aside from that, I would like one of them robot dogs.
What's an unusual product that you would actually like to purchase? That's the question we're posing at 800-252-1025. I have so many, and I am glad I have some restraint that I don't purchase these items.
Yeah.
Like, come on, how bad do you want a 3D printer?
Bad.
Yeah, I really do.
What would we do with it?
Print all the other crazy products that we want and are too embarrassed to buy.
I would immediately print a wife that wouldn't yell at me for getting a 3D printer. That's what I would do.
I mean, I honestly think I have zero use for a 3D printer, but you could 3D print an Oreo. That would be pretty cool.
You could 3D print your wiener.
Or an ear.
What? Well, isn't that what we would do with it?
Those are the three things we would do.
Hey.
We would print an Oreo, Danny's wiener, and an ear.
I have seen 3 movies lately where they have people Xeroxing their butts still in the 21st century. So, yeah, I'm going to 3D print my, but I'm going to put the enlarge button, make it bigger.
Yeah.
Paul, what's an unusual product you would like to purchase?
I don't golf, but I really want a golf cart, like a souped up golf cart with like a gas motor on it. That, especially because I've been getting so much flack about Jelly Bean driving the car. Like she could just cruise the golf cart up and down the road, and I think that's probably much safer.
Is that legal?
It's not one bit safer. It's more legal, I think.
It's my road. I don't think it's my road, my laws.
Oh, I didn't know.
I mean, I share it with 5 or 6 other people, but it's not
just when he was okay. Then he did that.
Well, it's not a public road. So I think we can drive whatever we want.
You and 5 other people kind of make it public.
No, it's a private road. We own it. We have to do the maintenance on it.
I've had that.
I wish somebody could pay. There's a pretty big hole in it.
Well, I think Jelly Bean should drive a golf
souped
cart.
Up golf cart.
There was one when I was going to Palm Springs, which I will still do because it's awesome there. There's a guy that has a golf cart that looks exactly like a Hummer, but it's like $50,000.
Yeah,
how
they're
funny
prices.
is as much as a Hummer.
What do you call those? It's not necessarily an ATV, or is it? But it's got 4 huge rugged wheels and handlebars, but you can take it on the road.
Is
that just an
take
ATV?
it on the road?
Yeah, you can take an ATV on the road, sure. License.
I want one of
supposed
those.
to.
Register it, sure. With brake lights, tail lights, and a license plate. You can take that on the road.
Okay, I want one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. A 4-wheeler, though, not 3-wheeler. 3-wheelers are dangerous.
3-wheelers
I don't want
stupid. You don't want
3-wheels.
3-wheeler.
No, I
Isn't
want
that what
4-wheels.
broke Zach?
Yeah, it
Indeed.
is, amongst other things.
Don't do that. That's stupid.
What's an unusual product you would like to purchase at 800-252-1025? Good morning to James and Bothell.
Hey, James.
Good morning, Danny. Yeah, hey, real quick, did Tori introduce you guys as the Danny and Bonaducci show?
At one point, I think, maybe.
That's
think
his
she
middle
may
name.
have.
Ann with an E. Ann.
Anyway, my product would be, and Danny, you know these, the Jackalope trophy.
That's what you would like to purchase is a jackalope?
But not a live one hanging up,
trophy.
just
No,
a head
trophy,
hanging up
yeah.
on your wall.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, they're a stink now.
Oh, they're extinct? No, they certainly stink now, yeah.
I was in San Jose. No, I wasn't. I was in Santa Fe not that long ago. Pretty sure I saw one.
Really?
Trucker Rob in Seattle, what's an unusual product you would like to purchase?
Hey, Trucker Rob.
Good morning, sunshine. How
Morning,
are
sweetheart. I'm well, thank you. How are you?
You? Hey, not too bad. I got 2 of them. My first one, of course, I'm surprised nobody has said it. I would have to be able to purchase the largest star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, the name Danny Bonaducci.
You're very sweet. We decided we're going to resubmit and then go this year as radio instead of television. Maybe that's kind of the problem. I don't think so. I think there's other problems. But they raised the price to $40,000.
Jeez.
Holy
And
moly.
last time we did it, I got my boss to say, yeah, I promised to pay for it. And then I had to sign all sorts of papers. I said, I'll pay for it. Don't worry about it. This time I said, just say I'll pay for it. So $40,000.
$40,000.
But well worth it for a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
I
Yeah.
cannot believe that's how much it is. So what happens, Danny, if you submit, or Bill in Lakewood submits, or whoever submits on your behalf? Do you have to write the check? And if they say no, they keep the money?
No, I think
You
they
just
say,
promise to pay.
I think promise to pay. They say yes, send them a check or I don't get my stuff.
Gotcha. Okay.
But thank you. That's a nice purchase, Trucker Rob. What's the other thing?
Oh, the other other thing, if anything, I'd like to be able to get my hands on a sports almanac about 5 years in the future, just to have fun with all the sporting bets. Kind of like we saw in Back to the Future. I'd make millions, dude. It'd be just sick how much money would be made.
It would be. You'd make as much money as you wanted to make.
I don't think that's an actual product that's out there, though. You can't
You
get
don't
that.
know what
You
they-
can't get that in Sky Mall.
With technology going on, you can't get it in Skyball, that's for sure.
What's an unusual product you would like to purchase? Margaret in Tacoma.
Hey, Margaret.
Good morning, you fine people.
What do you, no, it's
What do you mean you find people?
My whole life, I've wanted to have a zip line and lived in this house that overlooks a gulch. Just be cool to open up my bedroom window and yeehaw.
Can you
Yeah.
do it? Is it legal?
Pardon?
Is it legal? Could you do it? Could you make a zip line from your house?
You'd have to have you'd want to share it with someone, so probably need liability, but I don't know. I don't know.
I think
Build
you
it.
should
You have
do
to
it.
build it.
When I was growing up, neighbors close to me had a zip line, and it was the kind you didn't have to harness in. You could actually hold on to it like a T-bar,
Oh, yeah.
and it would go from the top of a hill all the way down, and then you had to pay attention at the bottom because there was a tree where it was attached to.
Right.
And so then you had to kick off the tree,
Yeah.
and if you didn't pay close attention, some of the kids got whacked in the head and knocked off and knocked out.
When I was growing up, my dad was, I guess we were all friends with Dick Clark, but when I was a little kid, we used to go to Dick Clark's house, and he had a gravity-fed roller coaster in his backyard.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that was crazy.
See, that's at least from a rich dude. When I was growing up, it was one of those, like, some dad made it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, that should not have been legal.
I've seen that on TV where the dad made also. It totally shouldn't be legal.
No. Bill in Lakewood, what's an unusual product you would like to purchase?
I'd like to get one of those remote vacuums or whatever.
The Roomba.
Yeah, a Roomba.
Yeah.
And, use it as like a delivery vehicle or something. Put, stuff in the kitchen and send it out to, my guests and whatnot. And,
Why does nobody want to use the Roomba as a vacuum cleaner? It's all to do. Yeah, everybody I know wants to put their cat on it.
Yeah,
That's
bring
what
me a
I would
beer.
have. I would have put my cat in a spacesuit riding my Roomba because I've seen it on TV.
I wouldn't mind having a Roomba. Do they work? Has anyone ever had one?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Anybody's had one.
We have pets. They would freak out over the Roomba, I think.
My aunt has one, and she says it gets stuck on things quite
Yeah.
often, but other than that, it works.
Oh,
pretty
how
good.
dirty is your aunt's floor that the Roomba's getting stuck on
And how
things?
scared are your pets? Your pets are afraid of everything.
Yeah, they really are.
What's an unusual product you would like to purchase? These guys are gearing up to purchase the Elon Musk $500 flamethrower.
Robot dog.
Good morning, Ace in Yelm.
Good morning, y'all.
Morning, Ace. What's up?
I would like to buy the International Space Station so I can get away from idiots.
I got a question. Is that what I sound like?
Yes.
Yeah,
In
pretty
my
much.
headphones, that sounded a lot like me.
Yeah.
Is that what I sound like?
Did you just use this the future to call in pretending you're Ace's Yelm?
Do me a favor, Ace. Say, good morning, everybody. This is KZOK.
Good morning, everybody. This is KZOK.
Ace,
Good morning, everybody. This is KZOK.
Ace, can you say, I've never been wrong. I'm right about everything. You people all suck.
Well, that's the truth, though. I've never been
Right on, Ace. I'm telling you right now, if I ever don't feel that well, somebody write down Ace's phone number.
Yeah, we got
We'll
it.
call it Ace, and it'll be like I never left.
Good morning, Andy in Tacoma.
Good morning, Destructicus and you people.
Hey,
What do you
what's
mean,
up, Andy?
you people?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
can
you're
say
right.
that.
I would like to own a half track.
Why not the full track?
That's what I was going to say. I couldn't figure it out. Why
Well, there are
not the
lots-
full
there-
track?
Well, half's good enough for around town. I mean,
What is
I
it?
wouldn't have to wear
No
a
idea.
tracksuit with it.
A racetrack
What
or
is a
a
half
running
track?
track? What does it mean?
A half track, a military half track. You get big wagon in the back.
Is he
Half
saying
truck.
truck?
He's saying truck now.
I'm so confused.
I'm so
We
confused.
can't have it because we don't know what it is.
You know what I need? I want a half pipe.
Yeah.
As long as everybody's doing half things.
Tori, what would you like to purchase?
I want a suture training kit. It's the fake skin that doctors use to learn how to give stitches.
So weird.
Wow, man.
It's good like boy repellent, when you're going out and you don't want to be hit on, you just bring out your skin.
I'm pretty sure if you bring out your skin, the boys are
Fake
more
skin.
interested.
Another way to repel boys would stop doing everything you do. And you might repel a boy or two.
Derek, what's an unusual product you'd like to purchase?
I would like a full hockey goalie outfit with the helmet and the pads and everything, so I could just let people just tee off on me with like any object they want. Just whack me with a stick or a golf club, and just like I would feel nothing. I'd feel invincible.
Semi-bitching.
Yeah.
Go
you
to,
buy
go
him
to a
that?
bar in your full goalie outfit and just talk smack to everybody. That's awesome.
Danny, please buy him that.
I will buy him the hockey suit.
Oh, it's time for our listener joke off.
Listener joke off.
Listener joke off.
For your chance to win a pair of tickets to see comedian Gabriel Iglesias, a.k.a. Fluffy, September 22nd at the Washington State Fair. If you would like to participate, what you need to do is call right now with your best quick joke. Call right now, 800-252-1025. It is time once again for our listener joke off, your chance to win a pair of tickets to see comedian Gabriel Iglesias. Fluffy, September 22nd at the Washington State Fair. You need to make us laugh. It needs to be a quick joke, and if you are the winner, you are headed to the show. Our first joke teller will be Eric in Yelm.
Eric and Yelm, what do you got, buddy?
Okay, why can't vegans eat pudding?
I don't know, buddy. Why can't vegans eat pudding?
how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat?
Very topical to this here radio
Yep.
station. That's a Pink Floyd reference, isn't
Floyd.
it? Not bad, man.
I thought he was going to say because they don't have the strength, but
Not a bad call.
You're
Yeah,
not
pretty
winning the
funny.
tickets, Paul. Not with that one.
No, accuracy does not get you the tickets, man. Funny gets you the tickets.
All right, CJ in West Seattle. Let's hear your quick and funny joke. Oh, is this Lorinda?
What are
Sorry.
you guys
Oh.
doing?
CJ, here we
Now
go.
we've got CJ.
CJ, go ahead.
Well, CJ said I could call either one.
Yeah, either one.
Go ahead, CJ.
Yeah. Am I on?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
are.
Oh, what does the deadhead say when he runs out of drugs?
I don't know. What does a deadhead say when he runs out of drugs?
Man, this music really sucks.
That is it. Well, I don't want to give
Two
up my
classic rock
two classic rock
jokes.
references. Nice.
Wow. Okay. Let's now talk with Lorinda in Tacoma.
All right, Lorinda.
Hi, you guys.
We're good. What's up?
Okay. Why does Barbie have black and blue boobies?
I don't know. Why does Barbie have black and blue boobies?
Because G.I. Joe has kung fu grip.
G.I. Joe does, in fact, have kung fu grip. I will give her that.
All righty. We're going to take one more joke this morning for these tickets to see Fluffy, and it is Rick and Bothell.
All right, Rick and Bothell, what do you got?
Hey, guys, what do you call 4 Mexicans in quicksand?
I don't know. What do you call 4 Mexicans in quicksand?
Cuatro Cinco.
Cuatro Cinco. That's
Yeah.
funny. That's very funny.
All right. The way
Because I
this
just
works.
assumed you can't say this joke on the radio, and that was
Right.
fine. It was
Cuatro
totally
Cinco.
the Cuatro Cinco.
The way this works is it's the consensus. So at the count of 3, we will all say the person's name, and consensus will win.
All right, once again, it's the count of 3 on the silent 4.
Yep.
All right, ready? 1, 2, 3.
CJ.
So it's CJ is our
Yeah,
winner
it's
today.
CJ. Both
Nicely
Eric
done.
and CJ both had great classic rock jokes.
They
but
did.
CJ's the
CJ,
winner.
congratulations.
This music sucks.
CJ is going to the Jeep Winners window in our lobby to get his tickets to see Fluffy at the Washington State Fair September 22nd. The rest of you get your best joke ready because we'll play another round tomorrow at 7:20.
This traffic report is brought to you by Walgreens. On State Route 167 northbound in Kent at 212th Street, we do have some minor delays there due to some stop and go traffic. And also in Tacoma on I-5 northbound at Portland Avenue, an earlier accident has been cleared, but you're still going to see about a 15-minute delay. When is the best time for a cold? Never. Luckily, Walgreens is right around the corner with the right relief fast. With Walgreens brand cold and flu products, you'll get effective multi-symptom relief you can trust. Swing by your local Walgreens today and start feeling better. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Hey, today is the 31st of January. This is your last day to get involved with the MyPillow buy one get one free offer. Buy one MyPillow, get one free. You need to use my promo code, which is KZOK, and you need to go to their website, mypillow.com. You just click on the buy one get one free special, put in that promo code KZOK, and then you get it. You can also call them at 800-304-4756. That's 800-304-4756. Buy one MyPillow, get one free with promo code KZOK. If you are tired of tossing and turning, trying to fluff up your pillow only to find it goes sad and saggy again, it is time to make the change to a MyPillow. You know why? Because it's the best pillow. It's machine washable. It is made in America, and you will get a better night's sleep than you've ever gotten before with MyPillow. And today is the last day. Buy one MyPillow, get one free. You can go to mypillow.com. Don't forget to put in that promo code KZOK. mypillow.com. Buy one MyPillow, get one free. Don't forget the promo code KZOK.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by Target Zero. It's another rainy day in Seattle. It's going to be 45 downtown right now. We're going to get overcast with on and off rain showers throughout the day, highs in the mid 40s. Drunk you doesn't make good decisions, so make a plan before you party and make sure to get home safe and sound. Let's reach our Target Zero goal together. 0 traffic deaths in your family, 0 traffic deaths in our state. Now back to Danny Bonaducci and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
You need to know what you need to know, and it's coming up next in the big news of the day.
Some of the stories we'll be talking about: a beloved fixture from the 70s is set to make a big comeback.
Barry Williams.
I thought for sure you were going to pick yourself, both of which would be incorrect. Another day and another story of a crazy happening on an airplane, only this time it involves bikinis. Turns out not everyone should partake in weed. Who in a position of authority had a crazy bad reaction? We'll talk about that story next.
And the big news of the day is brought to you by our friends at Goldberg Jones Divorce for Men. Here's the phone number, 1-800-DIVORCE, or you can go online to goldbergjones.com.
Well, one of the big stories people are talking about this morning has to do with a big product from the 1970s. Waterbeds.
Yeah.
Waterbeds went by the wayside, and now its original inventor is planning a big comeback. He sees millennials as the key to the revival of the waterbed.
You know why they went away? Because they're stupid. They're not practical. They're very difficult to get the okay to have on the second floor of anything.
Right. How are millennials living in apartments going to have these heavy waterbeds?
Well, maybe this guy, because this is an obvious, I've had this problem. So if I own the company, I go, hey, how do we get rid of this? And they did a couple of things that I thought were interesting. They take a regular mattress and put a waterbed thing inside of that. Only about 20% of the water water. So you got a regular mattress that holds water. But I never liked them.
I mean,
I had a bunch of them.
They make you feel kind of seasick, don't they?
No, because once you settle, I mean, if you're doing stuff, maybe, but once you settle, they form to your body, and that's it.
Well, the man who created them is now 71 years old. His name is Charlie Hall. And
Not
he
Mr.
said,
Waterbed? Not Charlie Waterbed?
Believe it or not. He said they're making a slew of improvements, temperature control, calmer waves, and they're going to be hitting the market later this year, and he thinks they are going to be the must-have for the younger generation.
Yeah, I think Mr. Bed is wrong.
Yeah.
He said that they are very different, a lot easier to have in the home than they used to be, so they've made a lot of changes, but he thinks the waterbed making a comeback. The price tag, about $2,000.
Yeah, you know what my favorite thing about my bed is? The adjustable base. How do you do that in a waterbed? It's impossible to sit up. Breakfast in bed for mom on Mom's Day or whatever is kind of out. They're fun. Maybe your kid wants one, but I don't think they're practical.
A Vietnamese airline has issued an apology for a performance that took place by the flight attendants. Now, normally you have said you don't really like when the flight attendants do something, tell jokes, sing songs,
not a
bugs
fan.
you. Well, maybe you would have liked this one. I'm not sure. The company is Vietjet, and they were welcoming their national soccer team back on board from a tournament. They decided to take all their clothes off. They were wearing bikinis and did a performance. Now,
What kind of performance?
I think it was meant to be like a dance, but according to witnesses, the flight staff looked uncomfortable. There were feathers and sequins. They were doing some sort of dancing together.
But it is the staff that's taking off their clothes.
Flight attendants.
So they look uncomfortable not because of what's happening, but they're uncomfortable because they're not good at taking their pants off.
They're not good at dancing.
Right,
They're
okay.
not good at wearing feathers and frilly underpants and sequins.
I am good at most of that.
Yeah.
Frilly underwear and feathers, I'm
Right.
down.
Now, the CEO has apologized. Her name is Nguyen Thi Quang Thai, and she is the first female billionaire of Vietnam and owns this airline. And she has apologized. She said, we thought it was a good idea. And some people said, the soccer team didn't even win.
Wow, what do you get if you win?
Right, seriously.
They're Vietnamese women, I will tell you, spectacularly gorgeous. Not a gigantic fan of the Vietnamese language, a little brutal, but the girls are so pretty.
Well, some police officers found themselves in a bit of trouble and had to call for help. That doesn't sound like it's that out of the ordinary, but it's why they needed help. These two police officers consumed marijuana, edibles, and reportedly started to hallucinate.
Hallucinate?
Yet, one of the
Sure
officers...
they ate pot?
I'm just telling you what the report is. The report is they ate marijuana.
I can see it. We have a joke in my house because I have, after my daughter left, because I smoked pot with her, legal, she's got a medical card, all that stuff. And I thought, yeah, it wasn't that terrible, but I cough all the time. And I have bad lungs. They're scarred up. I don't want to cough anymore. So I went with edibles, and they're just too hard to control. Even the directions on them say, this will take about 30 minutes to 3 hours to happen to you. That's a lot of waiting around to feel different about stuff.
And eat 1/8 of a cookie.
Yeah, you might want to make bigger signs about that.
They called for help. And when their people arrived on the scene, one of them was inside the police vehicle and another one was up a tree.
This is some great pot.
Seriously.
Seriously. I was going to say, because we have this joke in our house with these edibles and things like that. When they start to come on, you can't be sure what's going to happen. I had happened to see a guy went to the emergency hospital because of something to do with pot. So I said to my wife, as I'm panicking, how high are you going to get? Oh my God. Whatever you do, don't take me to the emergency hospital.
Yeah.
And now if I do it, I look at her right away in the mirror and say, don't take me to the emergency hospital, because we're cute that way.
They're in trouble.
The cops?
Because they were on duty?
They were on duty.
I mean,
One of
even
them was
off
found in
duty,
the
I don't
car.
think they can do it, but...
No,
That's true.
you don't think so? They can drink alcohol.
Yeah, but I don't think... I mean, most... I don't think they're allowed to smoke pot, even because it's federally illegal.
Oh, right, sure.
I'm
you're
thinking
right.
that local
I think you're right.
police departments probably still frown upon it.
That's the big news of the day, and it's brought to you by Goldberg Jones, 1-800-DIVORCE, or online at goldbergjones.com.
Hey, coming up, you're going to love it. It's Jelly Beans Joke of the Week.
And now, Jelly Bean's joke of the week.
Hey there, Uncle Daddy.
Good morning.
Okay, here comes my joke. Ready?
I'm ready.
How do you start a fire with just 2 sticks?
All right, I don't know. How do you start a fire with just 2 sticks?
Make sure one of them's a matchstick. Wow, I am so funny.
You are very funny, kid.
Probably stop playing with matches, though.
Yeah.
This traffic report is brought to you by Walgreens. In Puyallup, you are going to see some slow traffic on Highway 512 eastbound between Canyon Road and State Route 161. And over in Kent on State Route 167 northbound at 212th Street, we do have an accident that is currently blocking the shoulder, causing some minor delays. When is the best time for a cold? Never. Luckily, Walgreens is right around the corner with the right relief fast. With Walgreens brand cold and flu products, you'll get effective multi-symptom relief you can trust. Swing by your local Walgreens today and start feeling better. Walgreens, trusted since 1901. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
Whenever I like to start some new project or change things, I always like to start like on a Monday, or in the big one, start on January, the first month of the year. Well, it's a new year, and it's the last day of January. Get on board. 3010 weight loss for life. I'm excited to talk about it. Why? Because I hooked up with these guys over a year ago, and I lost all 40 pounds and kept it off. Changed my life for the better. 3010 weight loss for life teaches you that it's not just about what you eat. It's about what you think and feel about the food that you're putting in your face, and what you practice and what you plan. Very, very important. And 3010 is great at planning this out for you. At 3010, you'll receive personalized coaching, helping you address the change in your eating habits, teaching you about healthy nutrition, and guiding you through each step of the program. And the big one, holding you accountable. And by the way, 3010 makes losing weight delicious. They give you awesome recipes that you and your whole family are going to like. So call 3010 right now at 855-843-3010. Again, 855-843-3010, or visit 30
Love, it's forever, and only one jeweler in town has engagement rings and wedding bands with superior quality that are made to last a lifetime and who stand behind the quality forever, and that's Shane Company. They have such a wonderful collection right now, and right now is, well, Valentine's Day. It's right around the corner, 2 weeks to go. If you are thinking about getting engaged, you need to go to Shane Company. They've got vintage inspired rings that are simply gorgeous, and they have so many different styles to choose from. If you're looking for something maybe with a different stone than a diamond, they've got that. But if you're talking about the diamonds, you are going to find the best ones at Shane Company. You're going to get the best value and the most beautiful diamonds at Shane Company because they know how to buy the diamonds. The way they buy is different. And something else that happens when you shop at Shane Company, well, they have their own design team, so everything's going to be very unique. And you're going to get wonderful customer service. Shane Company, you need to get there for all of your Valentine's Day needs. Go to the store in Linwood or shaneco.com. Now you have a friend in the jewelry business, Shane Company.
It is 2 minutes after 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'd like to tell you about the iHeart Radio app. It's going on right now. The iHeart Radio is making this weekend a super weekend by letting you experience all the benefits of iHeart Radio All Access all weekend long, free of charge, my friends. So you get to listen to millions of songs, albums, and playlists, no cost to you. So download the app right now. Stop what you're doing. Download the app right now and check out the All Access free preview this weekend.
The housing market here in Western Washington is red hot.
Yeah, it is.
It is in a lot of places throughout the country, and they are finding that there are fewer homes for sale. Well, sometimes when you sell your home, it's not because you want to, it's because you have to. There's a guy up in BC who has a home for sale sign in his front yard with a very blunt explanation as for why he is selling his home. He says because the neighbor is a beep.
The neighbor's a beep?
Yeah.
Right.
And it's not censored, but I, for radio purposes, need to censor it. But the sign says home for sale because the neighbor is a beep.
He put that on the for sale sign?
Yep.
Well, that's some good marketing right there.
You guys were clever that way.
He said he wanted to be honest with the potential buyer. He said, maybe you'll have better luck than I do. My kids are terrified to walk past the house, that the cops aren't doing anything, and that it's a beautiful neighborhood. There's just some issues with this neighbor.
There's always an issue with the neighbor. When I my first house, there was a kid who raced his hot rod up and down the streets, and I was a kid too, and I went fast, but this guy was irresponsible, and I went and turned it into a neighbor war by pounding on his door.
Yeah.
But I'm 17, and I'm yelling at his dad, and that relationship was never repaired. It never got better.
You've always told us not to engage in neighbor wars, but sometimes you have a neighbor from hell, and you've got to confront them.
You got to fight
something.
back at least.
Yeah, something eventually breaks, and in this case, they went back and forth and they couldn't resolve the issues. So he's moving.
Right.
I mean, I've had some really bad neighbors, but I can't recall it ever getting so bad that I actually had to move house. But I'm sure you've had some neighbors from hell, other than the drag racer.
Yeah, but I've also been the neighbor from hell, so I'm slow to point the finger. But I had next door neighbors, Lee and Lori. Lee and Lori are my next door neighbors, and they split up, and I ended up having a little bit of an affair with Lori. Not a great affair, sneaking over when the kids were asleep kind of thing, although I was 17, so I didn't have kids. And then they got a divorce, and he got the house. So he moved back in.
Awkward.
Every day. I was never comfortable again, and I moved.
Have you had the neighbor from hell? I think we've all had this sort of negative experience, but share your story by calling us right now at 800-252-1025.
a guy that did not major in marketing put a for sale sign in front of his house and said, I sold it because I can't stand my neighbor. So that raised the question, obviously, have you ever had the neighbor from hell? 1-800-252-1025.
Let's start with Ann in Spanaway.
Hey, Ann.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I had a neighbor. Neighbor moved in, and I was so excited because they had two little girls that were the same age as my little girls. And I was so excited to go say welcome to the neighborhood and have the girls meet my girls. And my husband says, no, settle down, just let them get all settled in. Got to knock on the door at dinner time. And the neighbor came over and he said, I know my dog will say poo-poo for the air, but we know what he said. I know my dog poo-poo, and that's not my dog poo-poo, and I know you threw dog poo-poo in my yard, and it never ended for 15 years.
Did he actually talk like that?
He was quite the...
I'll take your word for it, but because I see dog poo-poo, I know my dog poo-poo. That would drive me crazy, a guy coming over and saying that.
So
and was he accusing you of your dog pooping in his yard?
Yeah.
No, it was his dog that moved in. We didn't even have a dog. And
but he said your dog was pooping in his
they
yard.
They don't have a dog. His dog was pooping in their yard.
How is it we're all getting the story differently?
And whose dog was pooping in whose yard?
It was his dog that he thought that we threw his dog's poop back in his yard after it pooped in ours, and we didn't even know he had the damn dog.
Wow, that just took a whole new angle.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I saw that on remember the Osborne show?
Yeah.
Ozzy show? They threw poop at each other.
Ew.
Yeah.
Gross.
No, the neighbor and Ozzy. Ozzy actually got in trouble because then he got mad and threw a log at his neighbor's head.
Wow.
That's gross.
He was bitching. Not that kind of log, Sarah.
Have you had a neighbor from
That's
hell?
what you were talking about.
Hi, Susan in Snohomish.
Well, good morning. How's it going?
It's going very well. What's up?
Well, I will start with I do have a degree in marketing, and we currently just listed 10 acres. And when people ask, the reason why we're selling is the only reason is because of our beep, beep neighbors.
How can you care that much about your neighbors when you have 10 acres?
What have they done, Susan?
Well, that's the thing. We moved out there to get away from people. They are horrible. Horrible. Let's see. They call animal control. We take rescue animals. We had a rescue pig that went into their yard. I understand their concern, but a normal person would say, hey, you're over there fixing the fence. Could you get your pig back? No, they can't do that. They have to call animal control after calling me all sorts of names.
Well, yeah, but that's because they hate you. This isn't how they started. Because, by the way, some of this, I think, falls on Susan. We moved away to get away from people.
Yeah.
Okay, so that tells you a thing a lot of people do. Paul lives away to get away from people.
Yeah.
But it says how you're feeling about other people. So you're got an open invitation to get into neighbor wars. And then you take in rescues who wander into their yard and their pigs. I mean, a lot of this, I think, might be self-inflicted.
But a lot of times you go to the neighbor and say, there's a problem. The neighbor's reaction was to call the authorities first.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've got a problem with your neighbor, try being an adult and talking to them.
I don't have a problem with a pig wandering in my yard, except I'm going to adopt it and curl up with it and spoon it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Let's talk to Eric in Seattle.
Hi, Eric. What's up?
Good morning. How you guys doing?
We're all good. Thanks for asking. What do you got for us?
Well, mine's kind of a long way to get there, but I've owned the house for 12 years and had the same neighbor, but his son grew up. And when he was like 16, he started smoking cigarettes in my backyard right next to my bedroom where I could smell the smoke. So I put up a sign that said, no trespassing, survivors will be prosecuted, which stopped the son from going back there.
Right.
And then the neighbor had a wood stove, and he burned wood all year round for heat, and it drove my wife's allergies crazy, and she couldn't stand it. And the final straw came. He put a Trump for president sign in his yard, and we sold the house and moved.
I got to tell you, that might have been the smart move. I mean, I get that we all would want to do, but really selling a house and moving is a big deal and a huge hassle.
Yeah.
But if I saw a neighbor of mine put a Trump sign up, I would not know what to do, knowing that guy lives next door to me. Because in my neighborhood, there are signs that say all over these rich white people's houses, there's signs in people's yards that say, and all on one sign, Black Lives Matter, no slave trade in my backyard, which makes it, what the hell's going on in your backyard where you have to put that up? But refugees welcome, which I don't know. I would like to find some refugees and knock on their door and say they need a guest room. I don't know how many of these people mean what they put on signs.
John, in Seattle, have you had a neighbor from hell?
Yeah. Have I ever?
All right.
So I lived in this small town in Eastern Washington, and there's two houses on one lot, and it was close together. And apparently my neighbor's phone got turned off because they couldn't afford their phone bill. Well, they took it upon themselves to give out our phone number, and we had their family and their friends would call us, and we'd have to run our cordless phone over to their house and say, hey, the phone's for you.
Whoa.
Making them the neighbors from hell, but you a wonderful and patient man.
Yeah, I don't think I could do it. Trumpet Dave and Milton, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hey, I had this, growing up, there was this gorgeous girl that lived next door to us, and I would get so upset because every time she changed her clothes, she would close the curtains.
How dare she?
I know.
Dave.
That is a neighbor from hell.
Is that a true story, Trumpet Dave?
Yes.
Because I had and again, same house, so I'm between 16 and 17, and there was a lady, and she closed her drapes, but she would take off her clothes, and it was the perfect silhouette, and me and this other guy would just sit out there and watch her forever, and I don't think she minded.
Brian and Fife, have you had the neighbor from hell?
Well, first of all, I want to let you know that the neighbor across the street that used to live there were unbelievable. They moved in, and the neighbor across that would be kitty corner to me, they were perfect, great, nicest people you ever want to meet.
Yeah.
So these guys move in, they got this big dog, and it barks all night long. So she went over, nice, just saying, hey, is there something you could do about your dog? And they yelled at her, they screamed at her, they called her the C word.
Not the C word!
Yes, the C word. And they were like, hey, thanks for welcoming us to the neighborhood. And it escalated from there. They would throw dog crap on their motorhome into their yard.
This is the second poop. This is the second dog poop toss.
Apparently, this is a common neighbor war technique.
It's like it's a contest. Oh, it is a common neighbor, but it's two phone calls in one.
I had no idea. Dave in Federal Way, have you had the neighbor from hell?
Half a day from Guam, guys. Good morning.
What's up, buddy?
Morning.
Yeah, I think I told you guys this story before when I stayed in Renton. There was a pimp that stayed right next to us. His girls would flaunt up and down the road there, and he'd look at the young girls real creepy like this. And one day, one of his girls ran into my garage while we were fixing a car and said, "Oh, he's beating me." And I said, "That's your employer. Let me call the cops."
Oh, that's a terrible neighbor. I don't want to
Yeah.
pimp
Pimps,
as a neighbor.
Pimp's usually a pretty bad neighbor right there, I would go with.
He must have been in the Renton part of Renton. That's pretty much where that happens.
Suzanne.
Do you own your home or are you renting? I think that's how that goes.
Hi, Suzanne.
Good morning.
Morning.
Hi. First of all, I got to say that whole thing about the Mexican Navy that you guys were talking about last week, I was cracking up.
Thank you. A couple of Mexicans found it funny too.
But anyway, when I lived in California, and my son was a baby, our neighbors right outside his window had a rooster that would crow every morning, like right next to his window. So of course we complained, and the next weekend we opened up our window, looked into their backyard just as the dad was cutting off the rooster's head, and they invited their whole family over and had a barbecue that day and ate it.
Oh,
that sounds like a great neighbor. Did he invite you over too?
Because I didn't know you can even eat a rooster.
Yeah, we have found on the
gross.
show, mostly because of Paul, that you can eat a rooster, but they're gamey.
Yeah,
More
stringy.
gamey.
Yeah.
Stringy,
A young rooster might be okay, but yeah, generally the older the worse.
Paul,
with anything.
neighbor from hell for you?
Yeah, you guys might remember the big fire that happened down the road from my house. It was
Yeah.
on the news, and that guy was particularly unfriendly, and so unfriendly to the fire department when they came to put out the fire on his property that they left without the fire being completely put out. They said it's contained to the point that we can leave it, but it's so hot, the rubble that was left of his barn was so hot that they couldn't put it out entirely. And then when it sparked back up later that day and was starting to spread to the woods that are in between our house, the fire department showed up again, and this guy was armed and telling them, "You're not allowed on my property."
That's
So-
a neighbor from hell.
What do you think is going on with that guy?
Just crazy. He's just crazy.
See, when you get out there in the woods and you got guns and don't get on my property, I think white supremacist. I think
he was
he's
distraught.
a drug smuggler.
He was distraught over some of the stuff that he lost in the fire, but you're not handling it well.
No, I don't think he's handling it. I have current neighbors that I don't trust at all. They bring Christmas gifts. All of them. It's the trifecta, it's the triangle of Christmas gifts. And they come around and they knock till you answer. So when we felt compelled to give gifts to people we don't know, we don't knock at all. We put them on the front porch with a note, and then we run away.
Yeah.
Tori, have you had a neighbor from hell?
So I live above a record store, so that's basically my neighbor. And they have karaoke parties after hours, but unless you're going to invite me on a Sunday night, I don't need to hear someone singing Sweet Child of Mine 20 times.
Yes, you do.
Oh, God, no.
I'm going to go do it. That sounds fun.
Derek, what about you?
I had a woman living in the apartment below me whose name was Kelly. Now, I don't know if her name was Kelly, but that's the name I gave her because she would play one Kelly Clarkson song on repeat for about 5 to 7 hours almost every single day.
Wow, that's craziness.
If I was a Kelly Clarkson fan, I might have loved it,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, I'm not.
No.
Weird.
And she was below you.
Yes.
That's crazy.
This traffic report is brought to you by Target Zero. Things are a bit slow on I-5 southbound between the Port of Tacoma Road and the Tacoma Dome. And over on Highway 512 westbound at I-5, we have a vehicle that is not moving because it's disabled and it's blocking the right lane. Drunk you doesn't make good decisions, so make a plan before you party and make sure to get home safe and sound. Let's reach our Target Zero goal together. 0 traffic deaths in your family, 0 traffic deaths in our state. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
This is Tori with your weather report brought to you by the UPS store. You're going to get some on and off showers today under cloudy skies. Highs will stay in the mid-40s, and it's currently 41 downtown Seattle. Your P.O. box may be sending the wrong message. The UPS store gives you a real street address, package acceptance from all shipping carriers, notify you of their arrival, and provide 24-hour access. Visit theupsstore.com to find a location near you. Now back to Danny Bonaducci and Sarah on 102.5 KZOK.
New numbers released by the Seattle Police show crime in the city continued its downward trend last year, but some violent crimes did see an uptick. There were 27 homicides in the city last year, up from 18 in 2016. Officers said aggravated assaults and domestic violence also increased last year.
So what went down?
Car prowls, believe it or not. Car prowls, car theft, home burglaries, all down.
People were too busy hitting and shooting each other to prowl anybody's car.
Now, the downturn, they say, could be part of patrol officers. We've got anti-crime teams, major crimes task forces, and more people working together within the police department to apprehend the bad people.
I'm guessing it's not the major crimes task forces because it sounds like we've got more major crimes than we ever had.
I was surprised to see that number of homicides go up by such a large number. But
Well, 27. We're a big town. What are they doing in Chicago right now? 700?
Probably, but
So we're doing all right.
I mean, it's still almost 10 more, but it's not 10 more. It's 9 more.
You're right.
In national and international news, President Trump delivered his first State of the Union address last night. This morning, you can find lots of people writing about it to try to give a bipartisan viewpoint of what was right, what was wrong, what's been a real no glaring faux pas, except for one awkward moment when Donald Trump talks about one of his ICE agents, and here's the audio.
Here tonight is one leader in the effort to defend our country, Homeland Security Investigation Special Agent Celestino Martinez. He goes by DJ and CJ. He said, call me either one. So we'll call you CJ.
Why? Well, why would you go by anything but CJ if your name starts with a C?
Celestino?
Yeah.
It sounds like he just goofed up the name, and instead of saying, he goes by DJ. No, I'm sorry, CJ. CJ, thank you for your service.
Yeah.
Instead of just moving on, he makes up a personal connection they have where, I call him DJ. Everybody else calls him CJ.
When he was over for brunch, he said
Right,
this.
exactly.
Yeah, it was just a bit odd not to say, I mean.
Yeah.
I meant to say.
You have a bunch of they paraded out these special guests. Every time you looked over, Melania was sitting next to a new person. He doesn't know those people.
No.
He doesn't know whether they're CJ or DJ.
Yeah.
He read one, meant to say the other. Just own up to it and move on.
By any chance, because I could settle this, were either one of them on Full House?
That
Because
was
if they're on Full House, it's probably CJ, right?
no, that was
That's
DJ.
DJ.
Oh, then I'm wrong.
There was a helicopter crash in Southern California. It crashed shortly after takeoff yesterday, killing 3 people, injuring 2 others. The 4-seat Robinson R-44 went down in the gated community of North Beach, landing on a home.
Wow.
This was
Is Harrison Ford okay? I was waiting for you, Paul.
Sorry, man.
Williamson, West Virginia. I'm going to go out on a limb and say none of you have ever heard of Williamson, West
I
Virginia.
don't believe I've ever heard of it.
It is home to 2,900 people. It's a small little place in West Virginia. Well, congressional investigators are now flabbergasted by documents that have surfaced showing 2 local pharmacies that they received 20.8 million prescription painkillers over a decade.
That's a lot of painkillers.
Yeah.
They supplied 6.4 million hydrocodone and oxycodone pills to one of those pharmacies.
It's not worth living in West Virginia, but it's okay.
It might be worth visiting just for the day.
Every now and again, if you're going to go talk to those guys.
They shipped almost 6 million to another pharmacy in a town right outside of that. 400 people. And now
Those people have a lot of pain, or at least they did.
Don't feel a bit, yeah.
They are now wondering, how could this go unnoticed, and it did for almost 10 years. They are now doing a pretty high-level investigation. They said it's a shocking statistic, but also West Virginia has the highest drug overdose death rate in the country.
It's a rough way to get out of West Virginia, but all right.
Yeah, that nobody noticed that these tiny little towns were doling out that many pills.
Wow.
Red flags they're investigating. And hard to believe it wasn't Florida news. It was Pennsylvania. A man has been arrested on burglary charges after police say he accidentally called 911 from inside the building he broke into.
The call is coming from in the house.
He broke into this building, and then police got a 911 hang-up. Now, they still investigate those.
I know. Sure. Believe me.
Police arrived at the scene. They found a glass door of the building had been smashed, and inside, a 28-year-old burglar named Brendan. They said he was naked, clearly under the influence of something. The place was ransacked with tons of damage, and finally they realized that he had accidentally called 911 while disrobing.
Put on some underwear. I can see your ransack.
When I said cops investigate a 911 call, even if it's a hang-up, did you say you know?
I do know. My daughter, when she was maybe 2, called 911 from my house in Chicago. And the cops came and said, did somebody call 911 from here? And I said, I don't think so. And they said, well, we got a 911 call. And I said, oh, well, there was some kind of accident mistake. Thank you. And they said, no, could you, who lives here? And I said, me, my wife, and my daughter. And they said, you're going to need to produce your wife and daughter. And I made some joke about producing, and they didn't think it was very funny either. And then I got obstinate. I said, they're fine. And these are cops I knew. It was a small little town outside Chicago, actually. And they got super unpleasant. They said, we have to see everybody in the house and make sure they're okay. So I delivered.
When it snows around most cities in the United States, people put salt on the roads. That's what the city does. That's just the procedure.
If I had salted, maybe my wife wouldn't have fallen down the stairs. But then again, if my wife wouldn't have fallen down the stairs, Paul wouldn't have had such a good laugh at watching videotape of my wife fall down the stairs.
I think I've lost a link. Can she send that to me again?
She would. She's so proud.
Well, a lot of cities and states have just long used salt, and now experts say road salt is starting to contaminate our waterways. They are turning regular water into salt water. So lakes, rivers, ponds, streams are becoming too full of sodium.
Isn't that why we don't do it here? Because it's bad for the salmon? Like we don't want to over-season the salmon?
I thought it was bad for your heart.
Oh, yeah?
Too much sodium?
Yeah.
Well, some places are now resorting to something a little less conventional, beet juice. A lot of states and cities
stupid.
are using beet juice, molasses, cheese waste.
I get the molasses because you get the traction because your tires stick to it, right?
Cheese waste, like whey.
What is cheese waste? I know Cheese Whiz. What's cheese waste?
What is cheese waste?
It's the stuff that wasn't good enough to be Cheese Whiz.
Wow. It's something incredibly orange that can't be found in nature.
They said that...
Oh, that's our president.
Pickle brine also being used.
Oh, yeah, pickle
I
brine.
used something this last time that was manufactured. It wasn't real salt. It came in a bag that looked like salt. It sprinkled like salt. It was granular like salt, but it wasn't. It was manufactured. So I think they're trying to tell us not to use salt. And it seems like salt should be a little more expensive. Then you get a whole sack of it for $1.80 or whatever.
Yeah.
Is there something you're trying not to tell us? Why are you sitting like the Unabomber in the studio all of a sudden?
Well, I take great offense because I'm not sitting like the Unabomber. I'm sitting like Derek.
Who's sitting like the Unabomber?
Well, then I saw Derek have his hoodie up and his headphones on. I said, well, he looks bitchin'. I want to do that.
Anybody who's watching the YouTube feed at Danny TV, KZOK.com, can see that they're both wearing hoodies
And
for
you can
some
vote
reason.
on who's cuter, and it's me.
Yeah, for sure.
I take offense to that,
You
but okay.
should.
Yo, aren't you supposed to put kitty litter down in your driveway to keep it,
Only if you want the neighborhood cats to come poop on your driveway.
Well, I was going to say, then I can go to the bathroom in my driveway. It's perfect.
All right, that's it. I don't want to dress like you anymore.
Is that a weird thing to go to the bathroom in your driveway?
Oh, Paul. Oh, Derek. Wait,
Oh,
I know
what a
Paul
mess.
likes to go outdoors.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why.
You
I
don't
know
leave
More
your house
natural.
where there's
Yeah.
good
I
plumbing?
have been known to leave my house before.
He walks out of his house to go.
I don't do that. No, mostly it's because you're already outdoors, but I have done that once or twice.
What's up with Paul?
I don't know. What's up with Derek? Birds
What's up
of a
with
feather.
Tori?
What's up with you people?
What do you mean, you people? All right, I'm glad we had this moment.
Birds of a feather may flock together, but United Airlines recently shot down one traveler's request to bring her emotional support peacock on a flight leaving from Newark International Airport.
You cannot do that.
Well,
Why
they told
not?
this person
Because
you
they
cannot do that.
scream. They scream almost constantly.
They scream to calm her down. She has a disability.
What if there's about the other 200 patients or the passengers, whatever begins with a P?
Do they have a disability?
They go, wah, 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 wah. That's what they do.
That was pretty good.
Thank you. They do that all night long, too.
Now, they told this passenger beforehand, the answer is no. You cannot bring this bird on the flight.
Somebody told her, yeah, because she made it through security.
The weight, the size, just for starters, let alone the fact that it's not toilet trained.
They are big birds.
There's a lot of people took pictures of this and posted because.
So this thing's on the plane?
No, it's at the airport.
It got to the gate and they said no dice.
Yep.
What'd she have to do? Put it underneath? They had to check it? You got to check your
She did
peacock?
not get on the flight. But according to United, we told her several times she cannot bring this bird on the plane in like at a seat. You can't put it on. It doesn't fit in the seat in front of you.
Right.
And she's like, "Oh, I bought a seat for it."
She bought a seat for the peacock.
She claims
She
bought a
claims
seat
she
for
did.
it.
I used to claim that a lot, too.
That you bought a seat for your peacock?
Four seats. We were going to Australia, and the plane wasn't full, and I went to the back of the plane and laid down across like 5 seats, and the stewardess came along and said, "You can't do that." And I said, "I bought all these seats." And she, "Oh, I'm sorry." And she went away, and I went, "Isn't she going to check that? Was she just going to take that? Isn't there a chart of where people should be?"
So she did not get on the plane, by the way. They did not. They stuck to it, which is probably good for the other passengers because as you were pointing out. Yeah.
I'm not sure that that's a peacock.
They say what?
Yeah,
What,
they do.
what?
What?
Do they ever raise the roof?
Sometimes they say dynamite. It's weird.
You guys can recall over the past, I'd say year, we've had a lot of interesting, I want to say stupid jeans trends.
Oh, yeah.
Remember the ones that were see-through?
Yeah.
The clear jeans, yeah.
The clear jeans. And then there were the ones that were sort of like garters.
Yeah, just
They're-
saw those recently. They were
Yep.
stupid.
I forget what, we had another one. I think, it was covered in mud.
Right. The pre-dirtied jeans for like $500.
They were like $500.
I had a friend, it wasn't his job, but it's his job one day. He worked for either a clothing manufacturer or a clothing store on Melrose, I don't know. But he went out to the desert with other people and threw jeans up in the air and shot them with shotguns and then charged $300 for them.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they'd put a patch like over your groin or whatever area, but the rest, it was really important to have shotgun holes in your jeans.
Well, the new one is out, and it is the waist belt. It is the top of your jeans. Imagine if you were going to make Daisy Dukes, but there was no hook in the middle. There was no shorts part. It's just
I'm lost completely. What's a Daisy Duke without shorts?
a waist belt.
This is basically just the first like 3 inches of your waist.
Yeah.
It's just like your belt loop, basically. Jean material behind your belt loop, and that's all there is.
Okay,
it's a
and
jean
is it
belt.
just a belt that doesn't go down?
It goes
Doesn't
to
go
the
down.
bottom of your zipper. So imagine if you were making Daisy Dukes, but then cut up 2 inches higher.
Is it sold as a belt or is it sold as pants?
It is called a waist belt.
All right, I
Tori,
like it.
you've seen this, right? Are we describing it?
Yeah. They obviously have their priorities straight. They're not going to give you something to cover your whoozits, but you have 2 giant pockets.
There are
She's
pockets.
right.
There are pockets.
Yes.
That's nice.
Yes.
The pockets are still there. So just like with Daisy Dukes, how a lot of times the pockets would be sticking out
I
the
hate that. I
bottom.
think that looks so trampy.
Be sticking
I
out
hate
the
that. I
bottom.
think that looks so trampy.
I agree. But this is a waist belt, and it is $405.
I think somebody needs to run out and get one immediately.
It's for the people whose Daisy Dukes are too modest for them.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing would be left to the imagination. All of your bits
You got to
would be
wear
hanging
pants
out.
underneath them, right? Or something underneath them?
I don't know, Tori, do you?
I mean, you could. It's like a modern day tool belt for a girl, I guess.
That's a good explanation.
Or boy. I don't know why I'm saying girl.
Yeah, sexist.
Sorry.
Wow. I like the David Dukes. They're nothing but a Confederate flag you wear around your package.
I think we've
That's a quality joke. Not that funny, but quality.
I think we've explained it pretty well, but if you would like to see it, KZOK.com if you want to take a look at the waist belt.
And who's modeling them?
Tori.
There is not a human in these, but Tori said she'll order them with your company credit card and
Oh, okay.
model them for you.
If Tori's going to walk around here in them, I'll pay for them. Kind of a stupid bet not to take.
Yeah.
A man in New York
Want to hear
City.
my day when I get home, Paul?
Did you say you buy
underwear for Troy? What's the matter with you? Way out of your mind.
Your wife is Marge Simpson.
Marge
Yes.
Simpson, yeah.
I'm leaving them both.
New York City. A sleepwalking man tumbled 6 stories out of his apartment's window and survived.
Wow.
Randy Fothasane woke up on the ground, had no idea, and was taken immediately to the hospital. According to his family, he did have a history of sleepwalking, and this time they did not have bars on the window. 6 stories he tumbled down. According to sleep experts, 3.6% of adults sleepwalk, and a third of Americans will do it at some point in their life.
Does it count if you're super drunk? Because if you're super drunk, I've done a whole bunch of things that I don't recollect, so I assume I was sleepwalking. But otherwise, I'm not one of those.
I think that's just drunk walking.
Yeah, well, that's
blackout
different.
walking.
Yeah.
I
used to
sleptwalked just once in my entire life. Danny, you're saying you never have?
I don't think so.
And Paul, you did.
I used to do it fairly frequently when I was a young kid.
That's scary.
Yeah.
I woke up falling because I was sleepwalking and I was walking to the bathroom, and then I woke up halfway down and I was falling and I fell on the floor and hit my head, and I was sad.
Oh, that is sad.
That was the last time.
I would mostly do it if I was like uncomfortable. So if it got really hot in the house or really cold in the house, I would do it. And also if I was sleeping somewhere else that I just wasn't comfortable, which
that's
was the
supposed
worst.
to be a thing. No, but that's a thing.
So several times I would like stay over at a friend's house and I would wake up in a different room of the house because I had walked in my
That's
sleep.
his cover because he's going to go take the shot at mom.
Right, exactly.
Anyone want to take the bet? Absolutely. Derek has sleptwalk, right?
Yeah, I'll take $3 that Derek has
Derek
slept
has.
Well, that's what I tell girls when they wake up and I'm standing next to their bed. I just sleptwalk, obviously.
You are not creepy. even
Super
slightly.
creepy.
No,
not
I'd
at
like
all.
to point out that I think Derek is not creepy.
I have sleepwalking issues. It's a real medical
You
condition.
have issues, homie.
The doctor that had to testify at trial said that's not true.
An Indiana restaurant owner has been arrested on felony charges after a customer found a baggie of cocaine in her cheese sticks. So mozzarella sticks. Delicious food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She ordered some cheese sticks, some mozzarella sticks to go.
With some marinara on the side.
Yeah. And then when she got home and opened up the package, inside was a baggie of cocaine. Now, the eatery called her because she had called in the to-go order. They called her and said, hey, can you bring back the stuff you found in the mozzarella sticks that aren't yours? And that's when she
The
called
mozzarella
police.
sticks weren't hers. She didn't even order them.
The bag of cocaine was not hers.
Oh.
They tried to say it in such a way that they didn't say, hey, can you bring back the bag of cocaine? Hell, I think there was something else in your order. Can you bring that back? It's not for you.
I was going to say, how do you know you accidentally dropped cocaine into the mozzarella sticks? But I don't think they did. I think they accidentally gave it to the wrong person.
Right,
I think
exactly.
they were running drugs.
Yeah.
Well, now,
Who has the best mozzarella sticks in the world? I'll tell you who. Fridays.
Really?
All the fancy places that I like to go and stuff.
nothing beats Fridays.
Fridays.
And an Arizona restaurant has won a James Beard Award, which normally we wouldn't really talk about all that much. A lot of people do win James Beard Awards.
Like everybody, it seems.
It's still a very big honor. But according to El Guerrero Canelo,
Yeah, sure.
they have won a James Beard Award for their hot dog.
All right.
$3.50. It's a Sonoran-style hot dog.
Which are fantastic, by the way.
That's wrapped in bacon.
Yep.
They can do a couple of things with them, but they're wrapped, period, is what they are. Yeah.
Sonoran hot dogs are wrapped with bacon. Well, regular hot dogs wrapped in bacon, then stuffed into a Mexican bolillo roll, then doused with beans, onions, mustard, jalapeno sauce, and mayonnaise.
Yeah, okay.
Yum.
They got the award, and they all looked at each other and said, does anybody know what this is?
I would say I would have all sorts of things to say about that, but I know of a young lady whose opinion I trust that has not only witnessed but been to the only Michelin star cart in the world. That's
true.
you, isn't it?
That is me.
Yeah, I was
You're
going
like,
halfway
I
through that,
do
was
know
thinking-
someone, right?
Halfway through that, thinking, wait, man, is that Andrew Zimmern that's been there? No, that's you, right?
That is me.
That is so cool.
Yeah. And in Singapore, I think it was $2.
Wasn't hot dogs though?
Well, there are actually two, but the other one I didn't eat because it had meat in it. There's soup dumplings, and then there's the chicken rice place. And yeah, $2. $3.50 for a hot dog for the James Beard Award.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Road trip.
Yeah,
Road trip.
absolutely.
All right. We've got music news, we've got entertainment, we've got sports, so don't go anywhere.
This traffic report is brought to you by Phillips Law Firm on I-5 northbound at Michigan Street. We have an accident currently blocking the shoulder that has stop and go traffic going from all the way from Boeing Access Road to that site. And on State Route 520 westbound at the Evergreen Point Floating Bridge, we have an earlier accident that has been cleared, but you're still seeing about a 10-minute delay. Auto accidents can happen anytime, all the time. If you or a loved one have been injured in a car accident, call Phillips Law Firm today for a free case evaluation. Call 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.
You know, if you have an aging parent who wants to stay in their home, first of all, everything is scary. My mom's 93. I've mentioned that a bunch of times. She seems fine. Everything seems cruising, but she's 93. And me and my sister, we worry all the time. Well, let me tell you about Servwell. These guys rock. They're a matchmaking service for senior care in the Puget Sound area. And Servwell, they make it easy and for your parent to stay in the comfort of their own home and still get the care they deserve. Now, most of us simply just can't take care of an aging parent 24/7. It's not even that good of an idea. You need an expert. I'm going to help you out with this. Servwell even has a mobile app that provides that real-time status and updates through GPS for your loved one's caregivers. So whether it's housekeeping, personal care, grocery shopping, meal prep, or the big one right here, managing medications, Servwell ensures that your caregivers are trustworthy and professional. Watching your parents age can be stressful. Let Servwell help you out with some peace of mind. Check them out online. Go to servwell.com. That is servwell.com.
Steven Tyler has just opened up his fundraising organization for Janie's. It's called Janie's Fund, about the song Janie's Got a Gun. This is meant to help protect and support female victims of sexual abuse. He had a big gala to celebrate the opening of this organization. He had a Grammy viewing party on Sunday.
To watch the Grammys?
Yep.
Or to look at his Grammy? Go there, that's Steve's Grammy.
They raised $2.4 million
That's nice.
for his organization. Alice Cooper was there. Steven Tyler performed. Joey Kramer was there. Extreme guitarist Nuno Bettencourt. And other big name guests as well. Tori, did you want to go just for that?
I just melted. Oh my gosh, I love him.
Who are we talking about?
Nuno.
Oh, Nuno.
Mm.
One of my favorites. He was in Caddyshack, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Nuno. Exactly. Thank you, Paul.
I thought that was Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, no, that's Nanu. Totally different.
Meatloaf has revealed problems with his back have prevented him from singing for a year now, and he may never be able to sing again. The 70-year-old Meatloaf says he has undergone a series of surgical procedures in an attempt to resolve the issue, but he said he is currently unable to move around his home without the aid of a walker.
Oh, it's sad.
He said, you use everything to sing, and I just can't do it. That, it's your whole torso.
That's him. That's the way he sings.
Yeah.
Not the way I sing. I sing like this. Baby, we can talk all night. Just might throw it in my larynx. That's it.
You use virtually nothing.
Like,
to
virtually
sing.
nothing, really, when I sing. Does the fact that he's crazy as a bag of cats have anything to do with this?
Well, he does have back issues.
Right.
But he says that he has had 18 concussions.
What are people to do to Meatloaf?
Yeah, seriously.
He said he got hit in the head with a whiskey bottle, had his head slammed into a locker.
Who knew Meatloaf partied like that?
I did.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Once he got hit in the head with a pool cue.
That's a big one.
He's rivaling you for concussions, I think.
Yeah, a bunch of mine are diagnosed. I just say I had them. I don't know if I really had them.
I've seen a few.
I've had like 3 where you go to the hospital and they say you got it, but I think I've had like 9, and I just claim, hey, I didn't know where I was for 3 days. I was either super high or I had a concussion that week.
I think you're in concussion protocol right now.
Yeah, me too.
John Mellencamp did a concert called Plain Spoken from the Chicago Theater, which will be available via Netflix starting tomorrow. This is a film that is him and his band performing at this Chicago Theater, very close to his native Indiana.
Right up the street.
And they've made this concert into a movie with him being the narrator as well. So it's not just all the concert.
Right.
It's, giving extra
Do you guys
stories.
know the movie The Last Waltz?
No.
The
With the band?
The band.
Yeah, love
Directed
that.
by the way, great. Just genius. I'm a new fan of these guys in a giant way. That was directed by Martin Scorsese.
Yeah.
And apparently he's always been creepy. Like they show him he's 20-something years old and he's so weird in this movie. But that's one of the best concert movies I've ever seen.
And just one of the best concerts I think that ever
happened. And
happened.
what a talented group of people. I was trying to tell Amy to watch them. I said, oh, yes, where do you see the drummer? And then that guy's a different guy. That guy's playing another. Oh, they all play like 97 instruments.
Yeah.
John Mellencamp's Plain Spoken from the Chicago Theater also features special performances by Carlene Carter, who was a collaborator on his most recent studio album that has actually done very well on the charts. She is the daughter of June Carter, but not Johnny Cash.
What's she up to that she doesn't have kids with Johnny Cash?
In her first marriage, she produced the child Carlene Carter. Academy Award winner Meryl Streep, former New York Yankee pitcher Al Leiter, and the E Street Band members Stephen Van Zandt are among many who are being inducted into the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Debbie Harry, Frankie Valli, and Buddy Valastro from The Cake Boss also getting the honors. So they are going into the New Jersey Hall of Fame. Did anybody have any idea Meryl Streep was from New Jersey?
I had no idea.
No.
I knew that Frankie Valli was. I saw his life story, and there's this kid in it, because they're toughs. They're New Jersey tough guys and some hangers-on. And there's this kid they call Pesci, and Fish, because that's what Pesci in Italian means. Yeah. And he's a jerk, and they smack him around and make him go on errands for him. Turns out to be Joe Pesci, the actor.
Oh, really?
He grew up to be a lot tougher. It was like, I'd sue if I were Joe. It makes him look really bad.
There's a new biopic in the works, and it is all about Chuck Berry. Now, he died just about a year ago,
Right.
right, at age 90. And they've now decided to make it into a biopic. They've done this before, but one of the guys who is helming this did biopics about Cream, The Moody Blues, Yes, Jethro Tull, and Bad Company. So he might know a little bit about making band biopics.
Yeah.
You know, I really didn't know till recently when I'm listening to a lot of Beatles with the wife, and she's talking about the influence they were of this guy with Chuck Berry, and then they're playing songs by Chuck Berry, like this song, Roll Over Beethoven, Tell Tchaikovsky the News. Who knew he said that? That's like genius, man.
Yeah.
I thought he could play a couple of chords and duck walk.
Former Glee actor Mark Salling has died at the age of 35. He was awaiting sentencing on child pornography charges. He had pled guilty, was facing 4 to 7 years, and decided to take his own life instead.
Bit of, I wish he hadn't done it. I guess I don't care that much about a guy into child pornography, but a young man, real poetic suicide. Hung himself from a tree on a river in Los Angeles, which has no rivers. I don't even know he even found a river to hang himself by. And he was just found there. Crazy.
You remember the movie Passion of the Christ?
Yeah, sure.
It was crazy successful. And according to Jim Caviezel, he is on board with Mel Gibson and the plan to shoot a sequel.
Spoiler alert. I know what happens.
Yeah.
He said he will be playing Jesus again.
Jesus, who aged a whole bunch.
Well, when you look
20
at
years.
pictures of Jesus, there are a lot of different depictions.
Yeah, and a lot of them he's black, which I think is appropriate.
But normally, don't they cut it off at about age 33?
Yeah, at around age 33. Exactly. Again, spoiler alert.
Well, Passion of the Christ came out in 2004, and it
God, is
earned,
that all? I thought it was longer ago.
Yeah, 2004. It earned $611 million.
Was that the what's his face? Gibbons?
Mel Gibson.
Mel Gibson.
That was his. Nobody would produce it, so he bankrolled it, and he got like a dog. He made $300 million from that movie alone.
Wow.
$30 million budget.
Yeah.
And it grossed $611 at the box office. It is the highest grossing R-rated film ever, $370 million. And Jim Caviezel says he is on board with part 2.
I guess you could buy a whole bunch of tickets to see the sequel to that movie if that's,
I was
that's what you want to do.
Yeah, you could. I think they should do it with Caviezel and Pauly Shore, so it'd be Caviezel and the Weasel in Passion of the Christ. I like it.
Isn't that the morning show in Toledo?
Caviezel and the Weasel. Here's some Guns N' Roses.
Looks like the Cloverfield universe isn't ending anytime soon. The third installment for Cloverfield is called The God Particle. It's coming out on April 20th, and now there is word that a fourth chapter in Cloverfield is already finished shooting.
Okay, I admitted that I had 9 concussions. I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, at first I thought that's not the John Goodman.
I thought it was
one,
the
right?
smelly
Is it
cigarettes.
the John Goodman one?
Paul is correct. I don't know what smelly cigarettes mean.
Cloverfields, they stink.
Oh, yeah.
You mean clove cigarettes?
No, I mean Cloverfields.
I don't know what a Cloverfield is, but what I do know is the first movie was the one that was shaky cam, and a lot of people got sick in the movie theater, and it took place.
That was the
That
name
was the
of it?
Blair Witch Project.
Right,
No, it
to
was
both those
similar.
things.
One like that?
In filming.
Yeah.
Cloverfield did really well at the box office. It took place in New York City. There was you weren't really sure if monsters, aliens, you didn't know what it was.
Till the end.
Till the end, and you saw it was a monster.
Right.
Spoiler alert. Then the second one came out, and it was John Goodman.
Saw that one.
That's the one I saw, yeah.
That was, I think, what was the official name? 10 Cloverfield
10
Lane.
Cloverfield Lane. That was a pretty decent movie for
Mm-hmm.
97% of the time, and then 3% of the worst movie anybody's ever seen.
Why?
or
What
made.
was the worst part? Because I only saw bits of it.
The reveal. Like, I wanted them to go out and it was just nothing, or like,
well, what
it
you
wasn't.
want is it always what happens in
I
the
thought that
ball.
was great.
No, it was just terrible. It just the monster or alien or whatever it was stupid looking. What it did was stupid. It was just awful.
Well,
the
we
rest of the
don't
movie pretty
know
good.
what it is. A monster, an alien. So now
But
they
we
have a
also
third
don't
one.
care because it's stupid.
Yeah, we don't care.
You're
It's stupid.
stupid. Third and a fourth one are coming out no matter what poll thinks.
And is John Goodman in all of them?
No, he's
John,
dead.
He was only in,
No, I mean
one of them.
not the actor. But
Tell me he can't be in another movie. Tell that to Jim Caviezel because your character dies.
Yeah, nobody's telling him that he can't be in Roseanne, and he's
Right.
dead in that too. So
Atari has partnered with a producer to develop a game show based on the classic video game Pong.
They could give it a first word and call it ping pong.
Well, the show has a title, and it's not that. It is $1 Million Pong, and it's going to be some sort of game show about Pong.
Can somebody just go punch Paul in the face?
Is he watching
It's
it
not
go
part
back
of the
and forth?
game.
You're playing Pong with your face.
I was
Stop
watching.
it.
I was watching it bounce back and forth across the screen.
That's what you were doing.
Do you want to describe Pong for our younger listeners?
No, shine them. I hate them. They're young.
It's virtual ping pong.
Yeah, they're gonna live forever.
Except,
I don't care.
yeah, except not as cool.
It came out back in the way olden days, 2D graphics.
Back when it was harder to come out.
Yeah.
Tennis table-like play, allowing players to control one of two white lines that batted a white dot very slowly back and forth across the scene.
Back when that came out, I was controlling white lines in all aspects of my life.
And the next Purge horror movie is set to come out.
Is that
Not a
the one
bad
with
idea.
John Goodman?
That is not a terrible idea for a movie. The Purge.
Purge, yep. They've had
I mean, for a low budget, everybody gets killed in buckets of blood. It's not a terrible one.
Yeah.
They've had 3 movies so far that have all done really well. They are going to have one come out now that will be a prequel. They say, welcome to the movement that began as a simple experiment, the first Purge.
Wow.
And it'll...
I take that when I can't get to sleep because I have a cough. Prequel. It's a totally different thing. You shut up.
You should take it before you have a cough.
4th of July for the next Purge movie. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by Bradley Johnson Attorneys. If you're facing a DUI, call 1-800-DUI-OA. That's 1-800-DUI-OA. Well, the Super Bowl is a mere, I was going to say 4 days away, but then I have to stop and think, what day is today? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Sunday.
It's coming in 5 days.
It's a long time to wait.
It's worth it, though.
A lot of people will be gambling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm not sure what I have with Derek, but I have some bet with Derek.
he tried to make that non-financial, though. But financially speaking, Americans are betting $4.76 billion on the Super Bowl this year. That's a lot of money.
And all on the Patriots, which is really bad for the casinos.
Believe it or not, a lot of people are taking the Eagles.
Really?
So there. I would take the Eagles, but just I don't like gambling that much because I'm not happy. Like $100, are you kidding? That's real dough.
Yeah.
But I would put $100 on the Eagles just to win 200 or 180 or something like that. It seems like maybe it might be fun.
Only 3% of the $4.76 billion being wagered on the Super Bowl will take place in Nevada. And now the Supreme Court is reviewing a petition to legalize sports betting.
Yeah.
They said that people are going to bookies. People are going to
Guys that'll
Derek.
jack them up if they don't pay.
Right?
Yeah.
You should totally do this.
And the online offshore stuff.
I don't
Exactly.
even gamble. My wife's a gambling degenerate, but I don't even gamble. And I think you should have offshore betting or not offshore betting.
Well, they said that the line right now is 4.5. The Patriots are favored, and the bulk of the betting action is on the Eagles. I don't know the statistic, but they said the bulk is. So more than 50% of gambling bets are going.
Yeah, Brady's got a bad hand, and he's won 97 times, and this quarterback's of the Eagles a Cinderella story. There's a lot of reasons. There's a good story to tell to bet on the Eagles.
Yeah.
The Redskins and the Kansas City Chiefs have done a little bit of gambling of their own. The Redskins will acquire quarterback Alex Smith, allowing them to part ways with their previous starter Kirk Cousins, who had an okay season. Alex Smith had a great season, but Kansas City says they are ready to move on. And there's a guy from Seattle who's making news in sports. His name is Josh Sampson. He plans on visiting all 7 continents in 1 week while competing in 7 different marathons in 7 days.
I got money on he can't do it successfully.
Ow.
Ow is one.
That's all I have to say.
Just, I mean, the wear and tear on his body to get to 7 different continents, let alone doing 7 different marathons within 1 week. It seems crazy, but I think that part of wanting to do it makes you crazy to me. When somebody says to me, oh man, I can't wait, I'm going to go climb, not Mount Rushmore, what's the other stupid one?
Everest.
Well, you're just an idiot, and I don't want to be your friend anymore. Why are you doing that?
The Sounders have signed Norwegian midfielder Magnus Wolff Eikrem to their squad. They said it is subject to his obtaining a U.S. work visa.
Yeah, but didn't President Trump make it clear he wants people from Norway in this country?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, I think this guy's going to get his card.
And college hoops, WSU will face off against Arizona tonight with a 7 o'clock tip-off. And if you would like to go to Safeco Field and drink whiskey, but not watch any baseball, sounds a little bit intriguing, right?
It sounds like a perfect day to me, to be honest with you.
Really, yeah.
March 10th, we will be inside the Terrace Club at Safeco Field for the 3rd annual Whiskey Rocks Northwest. Live music and over 100 bourbons and whiskeys for you to sample. General admission and VIP tickets are on sale right now. Those VIP tickets get you in a full hour earlier, extra tastings, a food voucher, and more. But you can get full details at whiskeyrocksnw.com. It always sells out, and it is always a fantastic time, so we certainly hope to see you there.
Totally worth it to do the VIP because it sells out and there's, big crowds. You get in that hour early and you can pick out, the really rare ones that you want to go try first.
I did that last year, and I stood at the Macallan and just went back.
Just went back?
Yeah.
You know what I didn't do that I think I blame Gus for this, the promotions dude. When you go and you pay your money, you get a bracelet and you get a certain amount of drinks for that bracelet or cards. What I normally do with drinks anyway is I get one and then I just give it to my wife.
Right.
I failed to do that, and she was not nearly drunk enough for my amusement last time. So I'm going to get it. I'm going to give her 24 different shots
There
of
you
whiskey.
go.
See what happens. That'll be funny.
Oh, Whistling Pig. That was my favorite from last year.
Yeah.
I thought it was a terrible nickname.
Well, you know who's coming up next? It's
And won't be a
Whistling
summer.
Pig.
Whistling Pig. Oh, if I could stop laughing long enough to introduce Whistling Pig. He doesn't whistle and he's not a pig. He is my friend, Steve Slayton. He's going to come in this room any second now. And he is going to, okay, I'm talking so I cannot possibly be doing the snort impressions of you, Steve Slayton, who's in the elevator with a Walkman listening. Bad things are going to happen. Yes, I said Walkman. So he's going to walk in this room and he's going to play a lot of classic rock because that's what he does. We'll get out of his way. Bye.
This traffic report is brought to you by Target Zero. On I-5 northbound between Albro Place and Seneca Street, we are seeing some stop-and-go traffic, about a 20-minute delay. And over in Bellevue on 520 eastbound to 84th Street, we have an accident that is currently blocking the shoulder, causing some stop-and-go traffic from the Evergreen Point floating bridge. Drunk you doesn't make good decisions, so make a plan before you party and make sure to get home safe and sound. Let's reach our Target Zero goal together. 0 traffic deaths in your family, 0 traffic deaths in our state. I'm Derek, and that's your look at traffic on 102.5 KZOK.